Hello there. What is the good news? Mom found my poop sock. She found it. My greatest secret. Alright, I gotta go to my YouTube channel and click the video, copy the address, and fucking tweet that out, baby. Alright. I kind of want to double check that the Discord bot is working, because oh, it did work, dude. Nice. Announcements, big announcements, all the Discordians. Live reading, Valentine's Day stories. Hell yeah, brother. That's what I'm talking about. What is up? Zachary says, I'm a hacker on a game called Roblox Prison Life. Oh, geez, no. That game has enough hackers already. We don't need people like you ruining our Roblox experience. Whom else has depression on this Sunday evening? What's got you down in the dumps there, my friend? We'll talk about it. I'm sure a lot of people here will be more than happy to chat. Awa, awa. It's Vintage 50 said, I love your channel. It helps me focus and fall asleep at night. You're one of the best horror narrators. Thank you. Oh. Treeflesh says, my dumb $103 figurine was shipped today. $103 figurine of yourself, or... Paige says, do you have any... She didn't cough, sorry. She said, do you have any particular favorite stories or particular horror genre stories? I really like paranormal. But, as y'all know, I don't do that a whole lot. Squawk is here. Squawk1, checking in. Hey Joel, I love taking a few Zans and falling asleep listening to you. Oh, nice. Be careful with those Zans. They are addictive, from what I recall in the medical world. Of a stupid JoJo character because I'm a brain rot. I've got brain rot. You love JoJo. I've never watched, people love JoJo, it seems like. I've not watched it. I feel like maybe I would. I hear it's a very weird anime. YouTube compilation of my favorite stories. Oh, that would be hard to go through and find them all. But I am pretty stoked because next week, as I think I've told you guys before, an individual who made this music that you're listening to right now and the other mix that I commissioned out, he's a sound designer, so he said that, he's a big fan of the channel and, he's looking for business and that kind of stuff. And he had given the idea, I think his initial idea was reaching out to me about, mastering my audio and that kind of thing, like adding custom ambient stuff to the background to make it more creepy and just make the audio sound better. And, I do those compilations for the podcast and for those compilations videos that I do once a month on YouTube. And I said, well, why don't you take the 3, hour compilations that's going to be coming up and see what you can do with it. And he's done a phenomenal job. And I'm excited to share that with you guys next week, next Monday. I do believe next Monday. Yas, yas. Yas, queen. Yeah, it's snowing here pretty bad. So, yeah, At least I know some people get kind of mad at the compilations because they say this isn't new stuff, but a lot of people like them too because they're longer videos. But I am excited to now be able to offer you guys something that essentially is, remastering of stuff with a lot more atmosphere and a lot more cool sound effects that are specific to the stories to go along with it. So that should be pretty dope AF. But yeah, guys, welcome. We're reading Valentine's Day stories tonight. I hope you guys are feeling in the romantic mood. And there's a potential that there will be two Valentine's Day story videos this month. One coming out tomorrow, and one in like a week from now as well. Or like next Wednesday or something, so that would be sick. Really pound in those crushes. Shout out from Puerto Rico. What up, what up? But yeah, click that like button if you guys would be so kind. Share this out with your family, friends, and of course, grandma. You embrace Valentine's Day because it's just there. Think about all the chocolates that you get on sale. Only stonks. No, I did not jump in on the. I mean, I do own stonks, but just stuff that goes towards like retirement. You know, been kind of like doing that for pretty close to whenever I started. You know, my previous job. And that's really the only extent of investments aside from some, when I jumped in on the Bitcoin craze way back when. But I'm not, I'm not some sort of day trader or anything like that. I can't say I've got the inside scoop on stuff. I'm not going to be the one to tell you where to make, $1 million in a week on Dogecoin or GMC. Though I do find the whole situation pretty fucked up in regards to the hedge funds and the individuals of what was it? Wall Street Bets. And it's like, oh, pity me. They figured out how to play the game just like you did, hedge fund boys. And I think the scary thing is to just curious how legislation will probably come back to shit on the little man. And then of course the Robin Hood situation where they just like stopped trading and sold everyone's like GameStop shit. I mean, it's just like I don't know. There's a lot of litigation that's going to be coming out of all this, and I'm glad I'm not wrapped up in it. Me talking about stocks is hot. It's hot right now. Buy. No, I am not a financial advisor by any means, so. And honestly, I don't even know I would have any, burb coin. Honestly, it's just like, all of these, it's all just like one big game. And it's kind of sad, you know what I mean? Like, money is just, it all just feels so arbitrary, you know what I mean? All money is just like, we all kind of have faith in it and trust in it. And so it works, you know? It's like a religion. Everybody agrees on it, so everybody does it, you know? It's not like we're handing, isn't, you know? I feel like back in the day, like the barter system made more sense, you know? Even though it's not very efficient. It's not like the most efficient system, and it's, you know, obviously very archaic now that we look back on it, but yes, fart coin, we need more fart coin. I can create some of those for you here soon. JK. But, you know, I don't know. You have eggs, you know, that I want, and I have a bucket of goat's milk, bucket of goat eggs. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you just trade each other and go to the market, and it does make sense eventually. Like, but I've always been confused. How did like human society even get to the point where like precious stones were of any value either? Because a lot of people say, you know, invest in gold. It's very, you know, stable or some bullshit. But it's like, even gold, like back in the day, like what determines its value other than the fact that it's like a shiny rock, or perhaps it had some other different archaic value we're not even aware of. Its conductivity or something, I don't know. Goat eggs are purple and taste like chocolate. They do, yeah. How many stories tonight? We got six stories tonight. Trade some eggs for Joel juice. They can intermingle. You want a chicken? I had chickens for a while. I had 4 chickens. One died randomly just by itself. One was killed by a hawk, and I think I told you that guy's story about how I had to fight off a hawk. That was kind of sweet. It was probably the most fun I'd ever had in my life, just based on the fact that it was like intense. You know what I mean? I was like, holy fuck, this is like a velociraptor creature. And then, so there was, you know, you come out and there's feathers everywhere, and this hawk is like caught in like the chicken net wiring and shit, ready to go for the other one. And it was kind of intense because it, like, you know, seeing a hawk running is really weird because you're used to seeing it like flying, but it was like, you know, skip scattolated and around towards the other chicken, and the chickens are so helpless, and it just like it literally just put its like giant fucking claw on the chicken's neck and just like pressed it down. It was like, okay, I shall eat you now. And then I just whack it on the head with a fucking broom, and this hawk is just like, what the fuck? You know, I had no idea that was coming. And then it jumped up into the chicken netting, got wrapped up in it, and was freaking the fuck out. And then I have to figure out, even though this thing's essentially my sworn enemy. Jensen, you want to be my Valentine? We already are, BB. And then I like had to figure out how to like unwrap it. And then once it unwrapped, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna get clawed. But then like it like unwrapped and then came out and like flew into the woodland area. It was very intense. So then that left 2. And then there were then there were 2. And we had 2 for the longest time. They laid eggs. Great egg layers. Really good at pooping those out. And then then one was very coy in the fact that it was able to like figure out how to get out of the chicken netting. And then, you know, we'd always find it wandering around the yard like, okay. No matter what like you would put to keep it from getting out. I don't know how. It would just like figure it out. And it was my favorite too, because it would like let you pet it and shit. And then randomly that one disappeared one night. I think it just took off to run away to join the circus or something like that. And yeah, then we just had one for a while, but then randomly I think that got killed with like inside of the it got killed inside of the netting by some, you know, because there's all sorts of predators that like love chicken aside from like hawks and birds of prey. It's like you guys probably didn't know like possums and skunks. Apparently possums and skunks eat fucking chickens and shit. Just eat about anything, I guess. I might be wrong about the possums, but definitely skunks. It's kind of fucking weird, and skunks are gross, and there was a lot of them in the past couple years. Even though they are cute little fellas. Hawkeye. The hawk was in my yard every night, rustling up my chickens. Do I remember the breeds? I don't. They were just a breed that we got from the Tractor Supply Company. It was actually my one roommate's like little side project that he did, but we all kind of participated in that. Sampai, hey Joel, how long did you stay up playing Overwatch? Not much long after you had bounced. Once I was filled with enough rage. I gotta fill my rage meter for the night. Besosa with the tenses for your chicken trauma. Thanks for the Sunday night stream. You're welcome. Yeah, guys, thanks for being here. We got about almost 4 minutes till we kick off these Valentine's Day stories. Appreciate you guys being here and sharing the stream out, clicking like, all that good stuff, giving me stuff to talk about. Do I have any blizzard or snowstorm stories? Yeah. If you I don't know. I assume you guys know how to like find the search bar within a channel, like at the top of the channel where it says like videos, playlists, all that kind of stuff. All the way to the right is a little magnifying glass you can click on and search that channel specifically, and you could, search up snowstorms and blizzard stories, and I definitely have those all up in there. Jensen says collabs are a hard thing to do because most people come to your channel for your voice, and some people get upset with them. They're nice, but you have to do them sparingly. Yeah, if I do, well, it kind of sucked. I mean, like, so I had our good friend Emily, or shit, what's Emily's channel's name? I'm spacing. The music's kind of throwing me off. I apologize. Having a brain fart. But yeah, Dead Leaf Clover. Sorry, it's totally brain fart there. Yeah, so like I had Emily on the end of one video, and I put him at the end of the story. We got 6 stories tonight, and put him on the end of the story, or end of the video, so like people can get my voice, and then like, if they're sticking around, they can hear somebody else and decide, within the first minute of hearing them if they want to subscribe to them. Easy peasy. And this person like psychotically like stalked her on every social media she had, saying some of the most nasty stuff to her. And it was so sad, you know what I mean? Because it like really got to her a little bit, until eventually it's just like, whatever, this person's just nuts. But like they legitimately like were trying to find Dead Leaf Clover on all of her different things and just say some of the meanest shit, about her narrations and her voice. And I don't know, I just felt really bad, because I mean, obviously I don't expect, you guys are always really kind. I mean, like, there's comments sometimes people leave that are pretty negative stuff, but I really didn't feel like what the person was saying was warranted at all. Yeah, it was a very big yikes, and I apologize to Dead Leaf Clover about that. Yeah, the crazy fangirls, man, they want blood. Maybe she was jealous, I don't know. She posted about it on Twitter. Yeah, it just sucks. I mean, you're gonna get a lot of wild people when you do like anything within social media or YouTube or content creation. You're just gonna get a lot of really that's why I stopped going on Facebook, because I would get a lot of like, my most unstable DMs that I would get would be from people on Facebook. As strange as that is. So I just like literally stopped posting on my Facebook, other than like the automated posts for my podcast going live on there. But I don't even check the DMs on Facebook or anything, because it's just, I don't know, I get a little weirded out. Miss Molly with the 5s. Joel, my love, how are you tonight? Thanks for giving my face love on the Discord again. I love you, and I hope you're everything. Thank you, Molly. I hope you're doing well too. Always gotta appreciate that beautiful mug. I guess mug's not the right word, but but no, thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate that. Tell us the unstable DMs. No, I cannot. I mean, they just get deleted. Most of the time I just like glance over them. I barely respond to like DMs at all, and like, but you can like see them without like responding. And some of them are really funny. Some of them are, very kind too. People saying they're going through like tough times and stuff, and how my voice has helped them to relax or forget about something or go to sleep, and stuff that is very inspirational for me, because it makes me want to keep doing this to kind of fulfill that need for some people. Jack says, you have the work ethic of a Greek god. I don't know how you make so many vids. You make some good stuff, man. Thanks, Jack. I try. I don't know. You pretty much with YouTube, you just have to set like a schedule for yourself. And honestly, my schedule, like, it keeps me sane, because if I didn't have a schedule, the fact that this is like my job and stuff, I feel like I can, like, you know, time can really get away from you sometimes, and you know, I spend most of my, I feel like I would end up spending most of my life just not productive, or like laying in bed just memeing it up, or just in some depression nap or something, you know. Jensen with the $10 says, let's get a donation train going. AMC to the moon, by the way. I wasn't sure, yeah, with AMC, if like they were doing, if that was the same scenario where, I don't know, I guess that would be bad optics for Robinhood to sell those. Do you post these on Spotify? So all the stuff you hear on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all the podcasts people are substantially behind, probably up to like 10 months behind on compared to YouTube. So YouTube has the newest content, but Spotify has all of the compilations, which are like nice long 3-hour situations. You can't do university work without listening to me. Well, I appreciate that. I remember when I would struggle to do work that had any sort of vocals, because it would like almost interfere with like one hemisphere of my brain, like as I would be writing or something. I mean, maybe my voice just has that tone that helps you zone it out or whatever, but if I hone in too much on like the words, I end up writing the words down without even realizing it. Joel, am I wrong for hating my nieces and nephew? Like, I guess if they're little kids, I mean, hopefully they'll get better, you know? And if you have to live with them, that can be kind of tough too. But, you know, I'm sure you don't hate them, you're just having a tough day. Do you ever think about how your narrations impact your audience? You know, sometimes I do. Whenever I hear good comments of like how it helps them sleep, or how it helped them examine a situation differently, like in a more like, not necessarily like paranoid manner, but more like aware of the surroundings, and help the, like certain things that people have done where they thought they were being followed. And this actually happened during one of the streams. One of the fans in here said they were being followed, and initially I thought it was fake, but we talked later in the Discord and it was legit, and they said they drove to the police station, and then the person was apprehended. And I was like, oh, that was smart. And they said they wouldn't really know how to approach that situation if they didn't listen to the videos. So that was pretty cool. You know, you're being followed, you know, give the police a call and just head to the station, I guess, if it's nearby. The art, yeah, so this art was actually done by Space Goose. It's a artist that I had seen do a cool background one time. I was like, I need to get that, you know. So I was thinking about alternating back and forth between that and what Robin did, but we're actually, it's time to read now, so I'm going to switch over to the reading screen. Thank you guys for being patient and chit-chatting with me. I will continue to answer questions, obviously, as we go along. Love them when you ask them. But we're going to switch over to the old Iron Cthulhu Apocalypse. And then, of course, Robin Mikalsen's art. Like in the chat. What about in the chat? Yeah, you can ask questions in the chat. You can do anything you want in the chat, as long as you guys are being nice to each other. No drama. Avoid anything that's too controversial, you know, that gets everyone riled up. Yeah, Robin does really make like Hollywood level shit. I'm honest to God serious. Like I like wish that there was some manner in which he could get hired by some professional outlet, because he has that kind of talent, you know. And he did that just on a whim, you know, just on like his own. He's really motivated. You're talking about workhorses. Robin's one of those guys that like, if he doesn't have work, he like goes and looks for it, you know what I mean, and like makes it happen. And then like he did the that Lost opening. You guys probably may have seen in a more recent video I had, you know, from the show Lost, like a similar opening that said "Let's read," and he just did that kind of randomly, and I was like, oh my god, I fucking love that. I love just like getting random, amazingly talented shit sent to me that I can just incorporate into the videos. The God of Pez with the 5 says, "Hey, listen," shouts to the Joel Patrol. Joel, hope your beard hasn't frozen off. It's gross in Connecticut. Hope everybody is warm and such. It's it's getting icy out there. Probably not going to be the best driving conditions. In fact, they are not, because I was out earlier hitting up the old Dunkin' Donut, and it was not good. So please do be safe if you are in a blizzard zone. Dark Twin Flames with the 5 says, hear ye, Mr. Chills is now proclaimed to be the Valentine of the Dark Twin Flames. Ha, ha, ha. Mr. Chills is now proclaimed to be the Valentine of the Dark Twin. Is that your boyfriend? Thank you for the 5, though. Shave my beard off right now. Well, I do have a barber appointment coming up Thursday, so this is a couple months going here. It's getting thick. Real thick. Real bushly. It's like first day of buck season type of beard. You know what I mean? But I like to keep it, a little more trimmed, so. The champ is here. Alright, guys, like I said, we got 6 stories all about Valentine's, and there will be part 2 coming up. I think I kind of jumped the gun saying there were 13 stories on my social media, but all that matters is once it's released. Homemade blueberry pancakes and sausage patties. Goddamn, that sounds amazing. What are you drinking with that? Pineapple pizza, pineapple on pizza or not? I mean, I would, but I feel like I've had it on Papa John's before. Is the only time I've had it, and it's kind of underwhelming. Alright, here we go. Also, yeah, if I miss any questions in the chat, it's not because I'm ignoring you or anything like that. It's just, my eyes are diverted towards the stories. I used to love Valentine's Day. I used to love all the cutesy displays and Valentine's themes. Fuck. My voice is already cracking. This is bad news. I used to love all the cutesy displays and Valentine's themed stock items we put out in the Walmart I worked at. And I used to love picking out something special for my boyfriend after planning a little date night with him. But we're not together anymore, and I'm not much of a romantic these days either. In fact, I dread February 14th coming around each year because it reminds me of one of the single worst moments in my entire life. So like I said, I worked at Walmart when this all happened, and it actually happened in the store too. I loved the decorating and checking out the romantic stock that we'd gotten in that year, but I usually tried to get Valentine's Day off. Or if I was working it, I'd trade shifts with a coworker. But this one year, I can't get off, and no one would trade with me, so I was stuck working 8 till 5 on Valentine's Day. But it's no big loss. I can wait for my presents, and me and my boyfriend arranged to do something after work anyway, so I took it on the chin. Right after I finished my lunch break, I happened to be walking by. Oh yeah, who's counting tonight? The mistakes I feel like I've already made too. The voice cracked. Yeah, it's weird. It's I don't know. As soon as I try to go into my deep voice, it's I get kicked out of it. It's my body's what are you trying to do? Your voice is not this deep. Yes, Dr. Pepper is not a good idea while live streaming. It gives you the burpees. I mean, if I was just fucking playing video games or something like that, I wouldn't mind drinking Dr. Pepper. But whenever I have to do professional voice work, what am I drinking? I'm just drinking tea. But honestly, this sounds nuts, but if you guys ever use the BCAAs, which are just branched chain amino acid, pretty much protein stuff to keep protein present within your muscles. Usually people do it in the middle of their workouts, but I've been putting it in tea, Because, sometimes you drink tea and it kind of tastes like, it just almost tastes like very rooty, you know what I mean? Like it tastes very like of the earth, and or almost like tastes dry. I don't even know how you explain it, but then when you put just a scoop of this in there, it makes the whole tea taste amazing. And then I even put it in coffee, and it made the coffee taste fucking fantastic. I'm like, oh my god, essentially I'm drinking like a Bang energy drink right now, just I don't have a heart attack or anything. But I think it was like oolong tea or something. Right after I finished my lunch break, I happened to be walking by one of the Valentine's displays when I see this older guy staring at some of the items. I thought it was the cutest thing ever. This sweet older gentleman looking to pick his wife up something romantic. Or maybe he had his eye on something in the nursing home he was at. On someone. Sorry. My favorite pizza topping? I guess, just meat. Meat lovers. Yeah. The only bad thing about, like, pizza toppings at, like, what flavor BCAs do I use? Like, some type of berry. I think I had some type of berry. But the only bad thing about, like, mainstream pizza places is that, like, I don't know, the ingredients they use always just taste like dog shit. And they always feel like they're just, like, frozen utter crap or something. Honestly, if you're gonna get pizza, you might as well support your local pizza joint. Oh shit, Pradeep is up fucking walking around. I'm such a man. Wait, why am I a man? Why do people think old people are so cute? I guess maybe they remind them of like children or something. Carson Claus says, keep up the great work. Thanks, Carson. Thank you, my friend. Oh, I did not see that. Ooh. Yeah. Carrie Lang with the biggest dono of the night. The big fat 50 maple syrup Canadian doll Harris says, get you started off right. Sending love, blessings, and stay safe. All we can do. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. And that we shall. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your continuing love and support. I really appreciate that. It gets my twerking muscles warmed up. And Jojo with the 1. Thank you, Jojo. Raven, you are just in time. We are 1/4 of the way through story 1. Old people used to creep me out when I was younger. I mean, they definitely can. Old people can be really weird. I know I've heard a lot of like girls in nursing. They're like, oh, they're so cute, and I would look at them like, ew, they look like dust. No, just kidding. But like, you gotta respect your elders, even if they're crotchety or mean or whatever. I mean, they, to a degree, directly or indirectly cared about you in some way to assist you going forward. And you gotta respect elders, because it's like you kind of gotta hope that they're gonna respect you when you're older. You know what I mean? So not the old person, but the youth. Hopefully they're not alive. I mean, if they are, that's cool, but they'd be like 900 at that point. Fox's Pizza. Where's that at? Or maybe he had his eye on someone in the nursing home he was at. Either way, it was super adorable to me. So I saddled up to the old guy and asked him who the lucky lady is. He's all started for a moment. Oh, I see. Startled. Drakenvault with the 10 says best voice on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you. Johnny Sin says, is it wrong not to cry when you lose someone? Johnny, I'm sure you went through many a girlfriend. What's up, Pradeep? What's the matter? Oh, he wants out. Let me let him out real quick. He was done. He's had enough. Elders are difficult, but also very interesting. The good elders, I mean. I know. I mean, when you come across like a older individual who's just... I mean, there's a few different ones, you know. There's obviously the very, very loving ones, and then there can be the very, very crotchety, angry ones. And honestly, I can kind of understand both sides of the aisle, where you're just, you know, you're old and you just want to love young people, or really anybody, because you don't have much time. But I can also understand, like, you're old and you don't have much time and fuck everyone, I'm gonna die, you know, or whatever. But so there's a few different philosophies you can take. Noah says Genji or Reaper. I mean, Genji's more fun. Reaper is not very meta, you know what I mean? But neither is Genji. Genji's, I don't know. Fuck Overwatch, I hate it. I'm just kidding. He's all startled for a moment. Again, kind of super cute, and has to compose himself before he gives me his answer. There was no one special in his life. He was just something of an old romantic, and seeing cutesy displays like ours on Valentine's Day made him long for lost loves of his. I remember he said that. I then asked if he had his eye on anyone new, and he starts talking in a way I found kind of confusing at first. Like I thought I may have misunderstood, maybe lost the context a little, but after a minute of him just sort of babbling, I realize he's not making any sense at all. He keeps skipping from thought to thought, just like a stream of broken consciousness coming out of him. It was right about then that it hit me that he wasn't all there. That was also about the time that I realized he wasn't that old either. I mean, all his hair was gray. He had like an old man jumper on, but he was so animated when he talked. He seemed sort of spry, like full of nervous energy, and at a push, I'd say he was in his mid-50s. But something about him just seemed off, and I was starting to think that initiating conversation hadn't been the best idea on my part. I wish him luck with who the lucky lady turns out to be, then slowly make a move to walk away. But he stops me, not with a word. I mean, he physically stops me from walking away. He didn't grab me or anything at first. It was just his fingers gently half wrapping around my wrist, but it was enough to really put me on edge. Then he asked me in a way that seemed both extremely childlike and extremely sinister, both at the same time. "Will you be my Valentine?" It was so surreal that initially I thought he had to be joking. Like no sane person would ask anyone that in a serious way, not like that anyway. So I just sort of laughed it off before apologizing and letting him know that I was seeing someone, and right as I do, I try to pull my wrist out of his hand. He tightens it, wraps his entire first. I just froze. He tightens it. He titanfalls it. Isabella, thank you. I'll try. Your grandma's 87. She flips off my mother sometimes. Is the best thing in the world. Yeah. I mean, and that's the tough thing too, is like as you get older, you get to that age where like your mobility is less, like your cognitive function is potentially waning. It's not always like that, but you know, you're just in a position of weakness a lot of the times where you really do have to rely on your family, and that's why family is so important, especially in your elder years. And you know, sometimes the only control you have is to just tell someone to eat shit. You know, so it's not, I don't think it should be taken, you know, too negatively. It's just sometimes that's all the control people have. Jojo with the 10 buckaroonie says, "Joel, will you be my Valentine?" I most certainly will. Thank you for the 10. What is Valentine? What does that even mean? Is that, it's like an old Greek thing, is it not? Like an old Greek god, or I don't even know the context, to be honest. Dark Twin Flames with the 2 says, "Why did you name your cat Pradeep?" Yeah, so it was just a play on words, because it was actually more of a name situation that my roommates had come up with because they were watching The Pickup Artist, which is an old show about a bunch of, like, you know, it was like a reality show where people would get voted off. A bunch of nerds would, be in a house and totally be completely inept when talking to pretty much each other, but, the opposite sex as well. And then the whole show was like these real goofy weirdos were considered pickup artists, and they would teach them how to like pick up girls, and like part of their like whole spiel was they would go to clubs and stuff and try to like practice their game or whatever. And one of the funniest characters from the whole show is this guy's name was named Pradeep, and he was just a young kid from India, but he was just so funny. Like he was just really, really awkward and tepid and wimpy. And those were the words of my roommate, because he said that he's like, oh, he's like a tepid wimp, because he had like a T-shirt that said tepid wimp or something like that. And then he said that Pradeep, and his personality as like a young kitten, was very tepid and wimpy. So he's like, let's name him Pradeep. And I didn't hear him right. So whenever I ended up being the one to take him to the vet, they asked me what his name was, and I thought that I don't know why. I don't know where the line of thought came from, but I thought that we were doing like a play on words. So I said purr deep. Like I thought he was like, purring very deeply or something. So, and then that just became his name because it was officially on his legal papers. But, yeah, great show if you haven't watched it. It's very, very funny. Just because it's like a mixture of like cringe, but like cringe in the most ridiculous fashion, Tree Flesh with the 5 says, Joel, can Pradeep be my Valentine? I'll spoil him rotten. Don't need anything in return. Use this 5 for him if you can. I shall. I will let him know when he returns, when he starts smashing his body to get back in the room. Not Greek, but it's a religious story about this guy who was executed for love or something like that. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I never really dug into the history of Saint Valentine or whatever it is. Oh, he married people when it was illegal. Interesting. Jacqueline says, I know I'm not the only one that wakes up and one of my fingers smells like poopy. I don't know. Anybody else got that issue? Oh, also, guys, what do you think? Godzilla or Kong? Who you got your money on in this upcoming brawl? Comes out like March 31st, which I feel like is like way too far away. They should have just started advertising it like hardcore memes for like 2 weeks, and then I was hoping it was coming out on Valentine's Day. And then they end up, Godzilla and Kong just start making out. He tightens it, wraps his entire fist around my wrist, and squeezes. I just froze for a moment. In almost 2 years of working at that Walmart, I'd never had so much as a crossword with... I've never had so much as an issue with a customer. Maybe it's because I'm short and blonde. Maybe it's because I'm just lucky. And because that whole interaction went from 0 to 100 so fast, and given my total lack of experience in any kind of conflict management, I just had no idea what to do. So I froze. The guy starts turning red in the face, and he continues to squeeze my wrist as hard as he could. There are veins bulging out of his neck. He's trembling so hard his eyes are starting to water, and he is strong. Like really freaking strong. Then what he did next haunted me for months afterwards. He gets right in my face, while I'm absolutely frozen in terror, and starts singing. Holy shit, this is really funny. Is Jensen still here? Because I have an idea for a meme, but it's going to require, like... it's going to require, like, a degree of, like, seed planting. You know what I mean? Okay, so here's the idea. So Jensen has his, Jensen TikTok, right? And he does a lot of Chills voices. He does a lot of, like, funny shit. And, where he says funny stuff and like different parody voices, but he also does his own meme stuff too, which is great. And there's this one fucking dude who steals Jensen's content, which, it's funny in and of itself, but like the dude, like, you've probably seen him. He just lip syncs Jensen's or other people's content, but like his eyes are like bulging out of his head. His face is like sweating. You know, his like lips are like, I don't know, dripping saliva. He's just like fucking terrifying looking. And I was just thinking it'd be really funny if like Jensen did like, "Will you be my Valentine or something like that." And then I was just imagining it'd be perfect if that guy like did the voiceover with that like terrifying face. And then that would be the meme. I would eventually steal that and put that on Horny Computer. Rumi with the 5 says, "You're my Saint Valentine. I make you pancakes and sausage and hash browns anytime with mimosas." Mimosas. I have not had that in many a moon. I remember sometimes we would get off at early morning nursing overnight shifts, and the girls would want to go get mimosas. And I was like, what the fuck is a mimosa? What the fuck is a mimosa? And they're like, "Oh, you just wait. You just wait, Mr. Let's Read. You're going to have your socks blown off." Well, thank you for the 5, Rumi, and thank you, Venikins Art with the 5. Says, "Joel, hope all is well. Long time. No talkie. Perdip update. FYI, holiday is also based on a holiday feast for said holiday." Oh, okay. So it's like tradition upon tradition upon tradition. And now it's like playing telephone with a bow and arrow. Lips dripping wet saliva. That's what I walk into. Yeah, I don't know if you guys... Someone's got to know who the fuck that guy is. Number 15. Yeah. Oh, someone's got to... Fry, you have to know who that guy is, dude. This shit is fucking funny as fuck, man. Like, and he's so creepy, man. He's so fucking creepy, but it's really funny. Jameson maple pancake shots. Oh my god. We're getting wasted for breakfast. I do have a TikTok. I pretty much uploaded my 2-sentence horror stories on there, and then I haven't really felt motivated to create any unique content for it. I don't really know. I don't know what to do for the visuals. I don't really know what to do. I mean, I'm thinking about continuing to do like 2-sentence horror stories. They will kill you. Is that the... Let's look. They will kill you. TikTok. Wait. Let's see. I don't think it's like a specific guy making a specific face, but all the fucking time, and it's like a gimmick. You know what I mean? ASMR. Then what he did next haunted me for months afterwards. Oh wait, fuck. Wait. Oh yeah, okay. Scary treehouse stories. Does anyone even... Man, I hope people still make tree houses. Then what he did next haunted me for months afterwards. He gets his face right in mine, while I'm absolutely frozen in terror, and starts singing. He tried to keep his voice down, but he couldn't get the words out without his words trembling from whatever weird rage fit he was going through. After 2 lines, I just start screeching for help, but as soon as I start making any noise, one of his hands shoots up around my throat and pushes me back hard against a shelf. And when he starts squeezing, I stop being able to scream. Then, one of his other hands goes somewhere else, somewhere I really wish he hadn't put it. But when he did, I finally found the strength to really fight back. But it was over moments later. Some other customer had come barreling down the aisle when he'd heard my scream and tackled the guy so hard that he almost floored me too. And if the guy seemed crazy before he got tackled, afterward he turned into a full-blown lunatic. He actually bit the guy who first got him down, and if it wasn't for security showing up as quick as they did, I think he might have actually gotten free. He was legitimately frothing at the mouth by the time the cops showed up. I've never seen a person look like that before. That guy was more animal than man by that point. And the fallout was huge. Walmart sent me to some trauma management thing that didn't help at all and Sent emails around to the other associates promising they'd do better with security and stuff, but it was all just for show. I gave statements to the police too, and for a while, it looked like I'd have to go to court to testify against the guy that assaulted me. But as it turned out, he was found unfit to stand trial, and instead of going to real prison, he ended up in some state hospital somewhere else. When it was all said and done, I just tried to get over it. It was one of the more horrific moments of my life, sure, but I refused to let it define me, and for a long while, I worked on my own. Oops. Harlequin, so I guess I could call you Mr. J. Mr. J. Oh, Harley, I suppose you could. I don't know if I can do the Joker very good. The Joker. Joel, do you like Mortal Kombat? I actually do like Mortal Kombat. Like, I know it's kind of like sadistic, but I don't really play Mortal Kombat per se, but like and I used to play it a lot more when I was younger, but when the new Mortal Kombats come out, I always go to fucking YouTube and I just, type in like, Mortal Kombat 11, all fatalities, and just watch every fatality just to see what they come up with, you know what I mean? You wanted to hang out on February 14th? I think I'm available. Let me check my waterproof calculator watch. But yeah, I always really liked the lore of Mortal Kombat, even though it's got kind of convoluted as time has gone on, for sure. And they've kind of had to reset things from time to time. Joel, rabies guy was you. Was that me, actually, on that TikTok? Yeah, it literally looks like he has rabies. Do I got a Valentine? I think all 558 of you are my own personal Valentine. The waterproof watch. Have you seen Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge? So brutal and good. It's an animated movie. I don't think I have. I used to... Dude, there was like this animated show when I was younger that I used to like... like when you're a kid... Like, I don't know, you're, like, young, but you, like, don't know when when shows are on TV. Like, sometimes, like, oh, Rugrats has new episodes on at 8 p.m. on Saturdays or some random shit. Stuff like that. But, like, a lot of the times you just don't catch or know the process in which to find out about other shows. So there's, like, this Mortal Kombat show that sometimes I would just catch on, like, really early in the morning, like... For whatever reason, I'm up at 5:30 a.m. Or my mom had to wake me up early so I could like get get ready because we had to leave early for something, or she had to do something beforehand or whatever, or get ready for the bus. I don't fucking remember. Anyways, I just remember watching the Mortal Kombat animated show, and I was just so enthralled by it. I thought it was so badass. If it's the guy you're thinking about, yeah, no, it's definitely intended to be very creepy, but it's like his content is literally just like it's kind of shitty. Like he literally is just stealing, other voiceover people's stuff and like just doing a really, it's like a gimmick. He's just doing a face that's really creepy looking, but it's like very memeable. You send it to people, and he has a lot of followers on TikTok, and it's like whatever. You're crazy enough to take on Batman, but not the IRS. No, thank you. Yeah, fuck them. You only know how to flirt with me specifically. You missed the Smurfs. That was a good-ass show, yeah. There was all sorts of good-ass shows. Like, man, Cartoon Network was sick. He used to have a lot of, like, cool-ass shit that, like, Boomerang has now. I don't know. All the stuff from like the 80s was really badass, Times have changed. It makes you feel old. That's okay. It's okay to be old. It's okay that times are changing. It was one of the more horrific moments of my life, sure, but I refused to let it define me. And for a long while, I worked on my overall mental health and particularly my sense of self-esteem. I thought I was good after that. I thought I was fixed. So there was no way of me anticipating what would happen when I met a friend at his 50s diner that was... Oh. I thought I was good after that. I thought I was fixed. So there was no way of me anticipating what would happen when I met a friend at this 50s diner that was our favorite place to eat. We're just sitting there, conversation on hold while we eat, and this song comes on the old jukebox. Until the lyrics started, everything was fine, but then these two girls start singing some words that I thought I'd gotten out of my head completely. I know you belong to somebody new, but tonight you belong to me. Actually, I kind of want to look up what this song is so I can, like, sort of sing. Not that I want to sing it per se, but just, like, sort of hit the tune if it's, like, a real-ass song. Let's see. Christy Perry, Tonight You Belong to Me. Do, 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 do. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright. Fuck. How the fuck do you sing that shit? That's a lot of, like, ooh, 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 ooh. DMCA, lol. You tagged me on TikTok. Thanks, Fry. Oh, the guy? What was his name? Because what's his name, like, offhandedly? I'll look him up. Until the lyrics started, everything was fine. But then these two girls started singing some words that I thought I'd gotten out of my head completely. I know... Oh, God. I can't fucking sing, mate. I'm gonna have to fucking read it. I just can't... I can't do what it is this girl does. I know you belong. Alright. Maybe I can insinuate it or something. Until the lyrics... Fuck. Yeah, I'm not a singer, guys. I want to point that out. I can't. I literally can't, like... And it's embarrassing, too. Like, I know that you guys like my voice, but, like, I don't like my singing voice at all. And I don't know how to sing. I've never been trained how to sing. And I don't trust myself with this melody at all to not, like, completely embarrass myself in the... I mean, I guess who gives a shit, but, like... I know... I'm, like, singing it condescendingly, too, and I can't help it. We'll do some Will Shatner singing, talking. I know, belong to somebody. I mean, it's one fucking line, but it takes an hour to say. Okay, so I know you belong to somebody new, but tonight you belong to me. God, that's... Alright, let's listen to it one more time. We're gonna listen to it one more time, alright? You'd love to hear my Aussie accent. Sorry. I was just imagining, like, the old guy, the old creepy fucking homeless dude or whatever, singing that shit. Okay. I know you belong to somebody new, but tonight you belong... Oh, God. I just can't, like... I like, if Simon Cowell was here right now, he would shoot me with a fucking crossbow. And he would say... In the heart, and he'd say, I've just killed a fucking cryptid monster. I've just killed a cryptid monster. I'm just gonna imply it with some sort of weird, I don't even fucking know. Until the lyrics started, everything was fine, but then these two girls started singing some words that I thought I'd gotten out of my head completely. I know you belong to somebody new, but tonight you belong to me. I recognized it instantly from the weird little changes in pitch in the girls' voices, but it was the exact same song the guy in Walmart had sang before he grabbed me. I know I caused a bit of a scene when I got up and fast walked out of there, with my friend calling after me, but I honestly didn't care. I couldn't breathe while that song was in my ears. I just couldn't be there. I suppose trauma is weird like that. No matter how much you think you have it under control, it's still there, bubbling away just beneath the surface. That sounded weird. Go off, King. I made a meme earlier, and it was King Kong, screaming with his old, gross monkey breath, but it says, like, go off, King, with a bunch of hearts and, like, a lovey face. The god of Pez with 5 says, hey, listen, I dare you to stop what you're doing and do 7 push-ups. Just 7, you got this. Okay. I'll do it. Let me do it after this. Well, all right, we'll just do it right now. 7 push-ups, and then I'll read the last literal paragraph of this story. Oh, fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 7 push-up. I just did it. And now I'm fucking swole. Also, I dare all of you to do 7 push-ups right now. Read it like a poem. I did. We got it. We're good. I'm gonna have Kong is chilling in my garden. PogChamp. The PogChamp. They've switched it up now, haven't they, on Twitch, where like it's a bunch of different random faces instead of the Pog Boy. Pixar didn't happen. Yeah, I just like made a bunch of like push-up sounds. Time to take my arthritis meds. Yeah, my fucking joints are falling out. I suppose trauma is weird like that. No matter how much you think you have it under control, it's still there, bubbling away just beneath the surface. But I do work at it. And I managed to neutralize how that creepy old song made me feel too. I mean, it took a while, but I managed it. Like I said, I'm not going to let what happened define me, and I'll wear my wounds with pride. I'm actually breathing kind of hard now. Sorry, let me get my breath back there. Those 7 push-ups, guys. Good God. Yeah, that sound was my bones cracking. Like I said, I'm not going to let what happened to me define me, and I'll wear my wounds with pride. But Valentine's Day is most definitely ruined for me. Swisher or White Owl? What's Swisher or White Owl? I don't know what those are. Like I said, I'm not going to let what happened define me. I don't know, the sentence keeps fucking me up. Like I said, I'm not going to let what happened define me, and I'll wear my wounds with pride. But Valentine's Day is most definitely... Why can't I hit this? I cannot fucking hit this. But Valentine's Day is most definitely ruined for me. There we go. Sorry. Doing like one like mild exercise completely fucked up. My cardio is actually done. Like I have not done like serious cardio, and it's probably since the beginning of probably since before the start of fucking the COVID bullshit. Like literally all I do is do the lifting and go on walks. And I used to do like, the high intensity interval bullshit, which made my cardio really good. But now I'm just like, I can't imagine what I would sound like if I walked up a flight of steps and be like, when your joints start falling out, you just smoke them. Do cardio on me. Just like running in place. You can't do cardio, you got a broken hip. What happened to your hip? Did you fall? Tiptoe through the tulips. Tiptoe through the tulip. I don't even know what that is. Is that an old, I'm so happy, happy-go-lucky me. Yo, we're all snowed in, and we're getting snowed on. I gotta lube my lips. You want and need to get back to working? Like tonight, or you just mean like at a job? Or like you're looking for a job? My day was good. I went to the Verizon store today to get a new phone. I have an iPhone S or iPhone 6. And you know, it pisses me off because like iPhone, you know, it happened. Like iPhone fucking updated their shit, and then they updated their bullshit, and then my roommate's gonna take a shower, so it's probably gonna sound. I have to just talk to you guys for a little bit till he's done with that. But like, iPhone updated their shit, and then my amazing iPhone 6 Plus battery went from like lasting like 2 days to fucking like not like it literally, if I leave it on like not, I always has to be on low power mode, and if I don't leave it on low power mode, it just dies within a fucking hour. And I'm like, this is so fucking obvious too, you know what I mean? This is so stupidly fucking obvious that they did like a planned obsolescence type thing where like, oh, you update and now your phone's dog shit and you got to get a new one, you know. And it's like, and the phone seems to work well, but it's just like, I don't know, it just pisses me off that you can't like. And then at what point, I think it was iPhone 8, right? Like there was a point in iPhone 8 where all of a sudden it went from like, oh, every time you came into the, you know, Verizon store or whatever the fuck you bought phones, you know, every year or two, they're like, they literally like paid you to fucking upgrade your phone. They're like, Jesus Christ, get rid of that thing before it blows up. We'll give you a new updated phone. And it was Gucci. But now, I don't think they really do that. And when the fuck did phones go from being like $200 to like payment plans? Like when the fuck did a phone become $1,200? Like, go fuck yourself. Like, what? How in the world of like competitive marketing has that gotten away from itself, where they can charge that kind of amount of money for a phone that they can also at the same time slowly degrade through just arbitrary updates? I don't know. Just pisses me off. You currently have the iPhone 8. Nice. Yeah. But it was weird. So I went to the Verizon store and I didn't get anything because I went in there, place was dead, and I'm like, I just want to get, you know, the newest fucking phone. And well, no, you would imagine with capitalism, like it would create some sort of competition where they would have to like be competitive, but it's literally, it's like a duopoly. It's fucking, you're either Apple or you're a Google Android phone. So it's like, I imagine they probably work very closely with each other to make sure the prices stay fucking high. And to me, I feel like that should be illegal. You know, it's just ridiculously stupid. But anyways, the guy was like, he's like, you know, I don't think we have any phones in right now. I'm like, what? You don't have any phones in? And he was like, yeah, the only phone we have is the SE. And I was like, what? I don't know. It was just very confusing to me. Like, you run a store specifically, like, ladened, where it's like it could just be wallpaper with how many fucking phones are, like, around the perimeter, and you don't have any phones available. And so, I have no fucking clue. I didn't get a new phone. I was just like, okay. I thought I was just going to be able to come in, get a new one. You just tap them together like fucking Neopets and all your shits on that shit, and now you got cool shit. I don't know. You dig in the real feels. Yeah. You had an iPhone 5S for like 7 years before upgrading. Yeah, I mean, I feel like every day I turn it on, and then, you know, God forbid I even walk out into the cold for like 3 seconds, because then it just, you know, starts to die of hypothermia. It's just ridiculous. There's a shortage of a lot of electronics thanks to COVID. I guess that would make sense, huh? Wouldn't it? Because they come out of China, and I imagine like logistical trade from that area is probably not so good. Your wife had a 6 as well, and the battery was terrible as well. It got so slow, she went to the dark side Android. Yeah. I wonder if it's easy to transfer. I mean, it probably isn't easy to transfer your stuff. I mean, there's really not. I mean, my phone is full of like 64 gigs of literal memes. Just memes on memes. Keep singing. Neopets. Oh, yeah. Actually, I think... I don't know, I think my roommate's done. Or he's just doing I mean, it sounds like water's sloshing around like he's taking a bath or something. No need to upgrade your device if it works okay and charges. Yeah, I should never have done it. And I remember there was like, I even was like wary of that update too, because it was so big. Joel the Meme King. Come to me if you need your 64 gigabytes worth of memeage. Discord link, yeah, there you go. Fry linked that for you. Do I play Neopets? I did back when I was fucking middle school or some shit. I remember that was cool. But I feel like I remember I couldn't like save my stuff, so you were always like starting fresh, which was real lame. He just had to wash his balls is all. Peishi with the 150, thank you. Sending me a peach. All hail the meme lord. Spooky music. Yeah, so my phone broke. Yeah, it's very fitting. Alright. Yeah, he's got an alligator in there that he's brushing its teeth. They justify the price increase due to no contracts with high bills, hid the price of phones in them. Now we pay full price for phones but get cheaper phone plans. Yeah, it sucks. Like, no matter where you like shift the market, like the fucking... These companies will always get the, you know, make their ends meet, you know what I mean? And the only thing that like companies fear the most is people voting with their dollar and like telling them to go fuck themselves, you know. But whenever you have a duopoly like that where everything's either iPhone or Android, it's like, what do you do as the consumer? You just sit there and fucking either go get a flip phone from Nokia and get a Walmart Fast Pass. I don't even know. Like, you know, have I gotten COVID? Probably. COVID's been in the United States since what, November of last year? I'm fairly certain we've like pretty much all been exposed to it to some degree by now. How's the tiki-taki going, my dude? Not great. I mean, like, I don't post any content on there other than my like 2-sentence horror stories I already made, but I don't know. I got real all jonesed up for tiki-taki, and then I was just like, I don't really feel like recording anything for this cancer website. Because, I mean, like, you load it up, and it's like you expect like some of the funniest shit to be the first thing you see, but then you see some of the cringiest shit you've ever seen in your life, and you're like, what is this website? And there's some funny stuff too, you know. You stumble across the good and the bad, and Jensen was saying, like, as you start to like different things, it starts curating towards it starts curating towards you or whatever, and the content gets better. But yeah, I don't know. You can always try the Apple site, then pick it up at the store, but I think, yeah, I totally just, I don't know. I totally realized like that probably made a lot of sense. Like you just gotta like order in one or something like that, or like see when they have shit coming in. How did you come up with the holograms? That was Robin. Robin did the holograms. He's very creative. Lynn Ragsdale with the 2 says, had a super rough day. Thanks for making it better. You're welcome, Lynn. Welcome, welcome. How old is too old for TikTok? I mean, there's a lot of fucking random old dudes on there making weird shit, you know? Like, it's pretty much the same as Vine and the same as YouTube. Like, I know that the target audience, like, started off as all the Zoomers and shit like that, but once people found out you can make money on there, you know, it pretty much attracts all walks of quote-unquote life. Do I live on the East Coast? I do, yeah. Button the like, yes. Hey, Mr. Robin. They were just talking about your amazing holograms. Alright. Back when I was in my early 20s, I met a girl who set my entire world on fire. She was smart, beautiful, and had passion for art. We're gonna burn together, she'd say. Not in the literal sense, of course. It's just that romance that we got swept up in was without a doubt the most intense thing I'd ever been involved in with my entire life. It was like a wildfire just burning out of control. Nothing had topped it before, and nothing has topped it since. But let's just say that neither of us were in a particularly good place in our lives, and as passionate as the relationship was, it wasn't exactly healthy for the most part. She was very, very possessive, and I'm not going to lie, I thought that was kinda hot at first. But that got really old, really fast, and her behavior started to cause arguments between us. She would explode at the mention of any other girl. I once mentioned something to do with my sister, and she immediately interrupted to accuse me of being unfaithful. Even after I explained the girl I was talking about was my sister, she stayed mad. It just defied all logic, but I was in love, so I stayed with her. So we're together for 17.5 months, and that time included some of the best and worst moments of my life so far. But in the end, the bad started to outweigh the good, and faced with another Valentine's Day with her, I decided I couldn't do it anymore. I made the decision to break up with her, and as you might imagine, she did not take it very well at all. At first, she was in complete denial, saying that there was nothing wrong with our relationship and that she had no idea why I was trying to break up. Then she got angry, like really angry, started throwing around accusations and threats, none of which I thought that she was capable of acting on. Then came the tears and the final acceptance, by far the hardest part for me. She was crazy, but I didn't think she was a bad person, and it sucked to have to hurt her like that. She insisted on staying in touch, maybe staying friends or something, but I had to go no contact. It was the only way we'd really get over each other. I felt like a monster, but I did it anyway. About a month goes by and I'm sitting in my apartment, alone on Valentine's Day. I'm sort of over this girl, but I'm also sort of not, and with it being Valentine's Day, I'm thinking about her a whole lot, so... Oops. Lucas, did you miss anything? Just, me bitching about Apple iPhones and some spooky shit. Sorry, sometimes I read the chat and I couldn't find anything to read. About a month goes by and I'm sitting in my apartment, alone on Valentine's Day. I'm sort of over this girl, but I'm also sort of not, and with it being Valentine's Day, I'm thinking about her a whole lot. So when my phone buzzes and I see it's a text from her, I'm like rushing to see what it says. I deleted her number, but you know when you just always remember the last 4 digits of someone's number? Yeah, that. So all this message says is, we were supposed to burn together. And that just kind of broke my heart right there. I thought about calling her, maybe try and patch things up, and in retrospect, maybe that's exactly what I should have done. But in the moment, I just tried to stay strong and stick to the no contact rule. I tried to take my mind off stuff, stayed away from all the romantic movies and Valentine's episodes that the TV networks were trying to force down my throat. But still, I just couldn't shake the lonely feeling I had in me. So later that night, I'm kind of intoxicated, just sitting on the couch when my phone buzzes again. I just know it's her, like knew it in my gut, and surprise, surprise, it was. I debated just quickly clearing the notification and ignoring the message, but my curiosity got the better of me, and I found myself reading it. I knew the first line said, "We were supposed to burn together," again from the notification, but only when I opened up the whole thread did I see that, underneath the first part, it just said, "But now, you're going to burn alone." Again, it hit me right in the feels. It was incredibly clinging, I know, but at the same time, you can't even deny how poetic that is. Poetry, that's all I thought it was. Just that old metaphor we used to share. I didn't think that she'd take it as far as she did. I didn't think she meant literally burn. Because sometime after that, I'm on my couch and I just started smelling smoke. I go through the stages of thinking I've drunkenly forgotten that I'm cooking, then thinking the neighbors are burning food on accident, then thinking someone is making a campfire outside or something. Just pure denialism, really, not wanting to believe that the apartment building was actually on fire. Then the fire alarm starts going off. I rush downstairs in no shoes or socks, just a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and run out the back of the building to the fire assembly point. Oops. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? Because Mr. J does. Every night. Oh, every night. You're a sucker for dramatic, toxic relationships. They certainly give us something to talk about. Sometimes you're sad you're single, but then you hear stories like this. Yeah, just find yourself a gamer. Things will be good. I rushed downstairs in no shoes or socks, just a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and ran out the back of the building to the fire escape point. And on the way, I see smoke billowing out from under the door of the apartment below me. Minutes later, a fire truck is parked outside of the apartment building, spraying water into the apartment below me, which had been absolutely scorched. It was one of the more surreal experiences of my life. These firemen are asking me if I'm okay, if I needed one of those foil blankets. It was February and it was freezing outside. But all that could come out of my mouth is like, "I know who did this. I know who did this." One of them tells me to get in touch with the police if the cause of the fire was criminal, so I immediately do because, like I said, I had a good idea of who set that fire in the first place. I wasn't quite sure how'd she done it, but having my ex-girlfriend text me "You're going to burn alone," and then all of a sudden there's a house fire? That was a no coincidence to me. No coincidence at all. And over the next couple of weeks, I had to go and stay in my mom's place while some renovation work was undertaken at my smoke-damaged apartment. But thankfully, I did get in touch with the authorities who thanked me for the tip and said they'd get back in touch if the fire... Oh. But I did get in touch with the police who thanked me for the tip and said that he'd get in touch with me if the cause of the fire was found to be arson. Only it wasn't. They called a little while later to say that a fire department investigator had determined that some faulty wiring was to blame for the blaze, and so they wouldn't need any testimony from me. I brought up the text messages my ex had sent me, how her words seemed to precede the fire in a way that was just too apt to be coincidence. But again, they insisted that no arson was to blame. I even called her and texted her saying that I knew what she had done, that she wouldn't get away with it. But as you can imagine, she played dumb, saying things like, "I don't know what you're talking about. You shouldn't be contacting me." It's something that messes with me to this day, and there are so many unanswered questions that frankly, I'm not sure I want to know the answers to. I just know that One moment she's texting me, telling me I'm going to burn, and the next, my apartment building's on fire. I'm not saying my ex broke into the apartment downstairs and did something to the wiring, but it's even crazier of me to suggest that she willed something like that to happen, or like engineered it or something. I know how paranoid. I'm paranoid. Sorry. Tasha has become a member of the Buttersuck cult and a full-grown pizza. Everyone welcome Tasha. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The voice crack. You will be crowned with a sock full of butter soon. I know how paranoid that sounds, so I tend not to put that theory out much, but it had such a profound effect on my mind that I still moved apartments not long after, just to be safe. Because to me, there's still something very frightening about that time in my life, something I can't quite explain. And now, when I remember that old, like, we're going to burn together, it doesn't set me alight anymore. All it does is make my blood run cold. How many stories? We got 6 stories tonight. That was story 2 completed. That was story 2 completed tonight. We'll be moving on to story 3. That one was hot, ladies and gentlemen. What did you think? Sometimes love burns a little too hard. Sorry, I was just imagining like how a disc jockey would approach something after something like that. You plan on sniffing chairs at a mall food court during Valentine's week? Nice. Axeman, I wanted to tell you, but I had no manner in which to get in communication with you, that I have moved all of the 2-sentence horror stories over to TikTok. I hope you're okay with that. They've not gotten many views, but I was thinking about breaking into the TikTokian game. I really want China to have all my information, so I just sent them blood samples as well. Retinal scans and things of that nature. A little bit of my juice as well, so to speak. And yeah, so hope you're okay with that. If not, I can delete my TikTok instantly. I just wasn't sure where to contact you. But yeah, if you guys are unfamiliar, Axeman was actually the madness behind the 2-sentence horror stories that you see on the channel, the animated ones. And I hope you're doing well, my friend. Okay. This one's called Valentine's Cards. This one's called Valentine's Cards. I should be on the Tonight Show. Who runs the Tonight Show? Is that Jimmy Fallon? Delete my TikTok now. I mean, like, I know that people hate TikTok, but just be aware that I am not your typical tiki-talkier. Cool. Thanks, Axeman. I knew I could count on you. What have you been up to, my dude? We miss you. Have I ever had a toxic girlfriend? I have not. No, I feel like I'm pretty good at snuffing out toxicity or like handling conflict with people. Like, I feel like I'm pretty, even the most emotional human beings I can like communicate with and kind of talk them off of a ledge, so to speak. Making cartoons for China. Would you say we'll be making Chinese cartoons? Yeah, I mean, like, TikTok's the same as anything else. Like, there was a bunch of cringe shit on fucking Vine. There was a bunch of cringe shit on YouTube. You know, there's a bunch of cringe shit in, you know, Instagram. It's all the same poop. Joel is a killer. You want to be my best fiend? Dude, my eyes are dry. Dude, winter sucks. It's so dry. when I was down in Florida, I feel like I don't know. It's humid, but I feel like when you wake up there, you just like your body hydrates way faster because of the humidity. Everybody without fail. What? This is weird. Oh, every year. Okay. Lube the eye. I know I should just like shove Vaseline in my eye. I don't know if that would be the worst thing to do. Probably. Let's make a cartoon about pig monsters that cook humans in sophisticated steampunk-themed kitchens. Hell yeah. That was my wet dream last night, so let's get to work. Are you working on any animations right now, Axeman? Because I am your biggest fan, and I would like to... Also, do you know who Meat Canyon is? Have you watched any of their stuff? It's pretty funny. Every year, without fail, I get a Valentine's Day card. Now, I might be mistaken, but most people reading this are thinking, oh, lucky you, or why is that something to complain about? And 9 times out of 10, you might be right. But the thing is, I have no idea who sends them, and have actually spent a great deal of time trying to figure out who. It wasn't something that was creepy when it started off. In fact, getting a card from a secret admirer was a pretty awesome feeling. The first card came when I was 13 years old, right about the time I needed a little confidence boost, but then when they started arriving year in and year out, I got to thinking about it, oh, fuck. Something in the works. Nice. I'm glad to hear that. I shall be waiting with bated butthole. Pass the Discord invite? Yeah, do it. You live in Florida. Dry equals humid. Or dry greater than humid. Honestly, that might be true. But, I don't know. Everything being dry all the time kind of sucks balls. Meat Canyon should make one on Phineas and Ferb. That would be funny, I think. It is pretty funny, though. Like, their most recent animation was about Dream, you know, the Minecraft guy. I don't know. I did not know about Dream at all until I started seeing his name pop up on Twitter. But that one was pretty damn funny, because I don't know. I don't give a shit about Minecraft, you know what I mean? It's a fun game or anything like that, but I like people speed running to get to the Ender Dragon or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, dude. But and I can understand, like, I guess that's pretty much every kid probably goes through the Minecraft phase. So him, I did not know who he was, and then all of a sudden I started seeing pop up, and it's like, oh, 10 trillion subscribers, and like every video is like 20 million views, like, okay. But the most recent Meat Canyon was about him, and it was pretty hilarious. Do I like funnel cake on a rainy day? I certainly would. I haven't had funnel cake since the days of yore. You don't know who has more fangirls, you or me? Probably you, Mr. Bieber. Mr. Ellen DeGeneres. The first card came when I was 13 years old, right about the time I needed a little confidence boost. But then when they started arriving year in and year out, I got to thinking it was just my mom sending them or something. I confronted her about it on Valentine's Day when I was 16, and she insisted it wasn't her. I mean, really insisted, saying she'd tell me if she actually knew who it was. I ended up asking all my close family and friends, but none of them admitted to sending me an anonymous card. So, cut to me being in college, it's coming up to Valentine's Day, and I realized that for the first time in a long time, I might not actually get a card that year. Only, I did. Same style, same handwriting, same mystery person that must have sent it. But here's the thing. I had literally just moved dorms like a week prior because of a burst water pipe in my original dorm room. But the Valentine's card is addressed to the new dorm room, which was on the opposite side of campus. Literally the only person in the world who had my new address was my mom, so cue the second confrontation about the Valentine's card in like 2.5 years. One that again ends with her violently assuring me that she hadn't given my address to anyone. So, the question remained, who was sending me those cards? It really creeped me out for a while, but it was something that I grew to live with again. I mean, it seems like such a non-problem, right? I keep getting Valentine's Day cards. People would always just laugh. I'm 33 years old in May of this year. I've moved apartments 3 times in the past 6 years. After my mom died, it got to the point where I'd moved and not a single member of my family knew my address until I told them. So the second time, I ran a little experiment. I didn't tell a single person that I'd moved, only my new landlord. The utility companies and me knew I was living in this new place. I waited 2 months like that, having to pick up mail at the old apartment, keeping my address secret until one particular day rolled around, February 14th. Not a single other person knew my address, and I still found a Valentine's card in my mailbox. Dun dun dun! It said, "Fuck you, bitch, I'm over you." Just kidding. Holy shit. Carrie. Oh my god. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Holy shit, Carrie, with the 50 motherfucking Canadian maple syrup. This says, Joel, have I sent enough to maybe see your face on Facebook? I don't use Facebook anymore, but I do. I feel bad saying, like, I don't know if I even have a face is the issue. It was ripped off in a freak exfoliation accident years ago. I was trying to get nice and prepped and ready for my beauty pageant. And I added just a little too much brown sugar to my brown sugar exfoliation scrub, and the whole goddamn face came off. So you're really not gonna wanna be looking at this mug. I promise you. It just gives people PTSD. How do you drink Dr. Pepper without lips? You can just dump it right in the throat gullet. Or I have some sort of like pressure system with tubes. But thank you, Carrie. I really do appreciate your donation. Thank you. Beauty pageant champ. I was a 2-time back-to-back 1993, 1994 beauty pageant champion. And until that freak exfoliation accident, there was no one who could stop me. Not even fucking Tom Brady and his chiseled jaw. Not Tom, nor Brady, nor his butt chin. His perfect little dimple chin. Floating head like Futurama. I hope we get floating heads in the future. Just suspended in some sort of Joel juice. That's me. That is literally me sitting in that chair right there. Completely exfoliated to the extreme. That's a creepypasta for you, like a title like, I exfoliated a little too much. Creepypasta. Alright, guys. Oh, shit. Miss Molly with the 5 says, so the brown sugar scrub made your face disappear. That's all my fault. I recommend the face scrub to you. I'm so... Molly. It's okay. Honestly, it's better this way. No more unwanted blemishes anymore. I taking things a little to the extreme, but I think it's going to be beneficial in the long run. I look much skinnier now in the face without flesh or, muscle or fat. But I think that's the look I was going for. It's just a complete skeletorized skull head. Thank you for the 5. Beginning in November 22nd, 1986, the life of Oscar Pistorius was... Oh, shit. Okay, real quick, I gotta look up how to say this name. Lucas, yes. I'm a skinny legend. Okay, Pistorius. Forvo, we're going to Forvo. The #1 pronunciation website on the intranet. Pistorius. Pistorius. Gotta say it real German. Pistorius. And English? No English. Wait. Oh, perfect. That's him. That is the exact guy we are talking about. So perfect. Beginning on November... Fuck. Joel's face is basically those skeleton biker dudes from Batman Returns. Yeah, I am, Nick Cage. What did he play? He played, like, Ghost Rider. I'm essentially Ghost Rider. But, like, I drive, like, a tricycle. And, like, a sidecar for Pradeep. Beginning on November 22nd, 1986, the life of Oscar Pistorius was unusual from the get-go. He was born missing the outsides of both feet and was also missing his fibulae. The fuck is a fibulae? Fibulae? Whoa, like the fibula bone? You're fucking with me. Wow. Let me look up. That's a little wild. Oh, just fibula. Okay. The outer and narrow of 2 bones on the human leg extending from the knee to the ankle. From the knee to the ankle. Okay. For those people who have bought or purchased silver and gold, those type of investors, I have no clue, how you do it, but like, do you own the physical product, or is it something where they just say, oh, you purchased it and now it's going to sit in our bank, or does it even exist? Do you ever get to like hold it and fiddle with it in your hands or chew on it to make sure it's real? I don't know. He was born missing the outsides of both feet and was also missing his fibula. The fibula are lower leg bones that extend from the knee to the outside of the ankle, parallel to the shin bone, its job being to stabilize the ankle and support the lower leg muscles. Given that he was without such support, his feet were essentially useless. So at just 11 months old, doctors made the decision to remove Oscar's lower legs entirely. At this point, if you'd have a IJ, I Talk with the 2 says, I like spending money on you. Hi, thank you, IJ. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate the buckaroonies. Could we get 6K viewers on the stream? I'd like to. I mean, there was a time where I would feel like I was getting pretty close to getting over 1,000 regularly, but it seems that you 600 are my hardcore fans. But I also want to say that, like, there's so many times where people say they hit the notification bell and they get no notification. And to me, I think that's so stupid. You know what I mean? I think that's so dumb that, like, people who really want to see the content do not get notified. So, honestly, the best thing I could suggest for those who really want to be notified, who are here now, or if you want to tell your friendos who miss it is like, join the Discord because you'll get notified through that system almost all the time, or follow me on Twitter because I can like link the Twitter, and I don't know if you can get notified for tweets every time someone tweets. If you know what I mean, if you're really jonesing for a live stream, that is the best way to always be notified, because for whatever reason, YouTube's notification system is complete dog water. I don't know. At that point, if you'd have speculated that the young amputee might grow up to be a professional runner, people might have called you crazy. But in fact, that's exactly what Oscar became, thanks to a piece of cutting edge, But in fact, that's exactly what Oscar became, thanks to a piece of cutting-edge Paralympian. How do you join the Discord? Yes, so someone can link you. I love you too, Carrie. Thank you. Don't drink dog water. Yeah, you don't want to drink that. Nor do you want to be dog water. But in fact, that's exactly what Oscar became, thanks to a piece of cutting-edge Paralympian technology. Sorry, I keep fucking up on the Paralympian word. It just seems so foreign to me. Paralympian. A pair of Olympians. No. How do you have a dictionary website without a pronunciation? Jesus Christ. Sorry, guys. Blow your ears out there. But in fact, that's exactly what Oscar became, thanks to a piece of cutting-edge Paralympian technology that came to be known as running blades. Manufactured using carbon fiber reinforced polymer material, the curved design of these blades is intended to store kinetic energy like a spring, allowing the wearer to jump and run effectively. The blades were so effective that at the 2011 World Championships in Athletics, Oscar was the first amputee to win a non-disabled world track medal. And at the 2012 Summer Olympic Games, despite not winning anything, Pistorius was the first double-leg amputee participant, a titanic achievement, we can all agree. Naturally, these victories and appearances made Oscar an international sensation, and he received an incredible amount of fame, wealth, and attention. As a result, Oscar met South African model and paralegal Riva Steenkamp. Fuck. Steenkamp. The fuck? Let me double check. I do remember this story like way back in the day. Steenkamp. I guess it would be the Afrikaans. Steenkamp. Steampunk. Will I ever do scary 69ing stories? Oh yeah, those get very stinky. All of us 620 viewers are hardcore fans. You like me? Yes, thank you. Thank you for devoting your life to the Buttersuck cult. Okay. Anyways, Riva Steenkamp. Okay. As a result, Oscar met South African model and paralegal Riva Steenkamp at a party in November of 2012. The pair hit it off and soon began dating pretty seriously, and as for a while Sorry. Do you have the gaming channel? No, but sometimes in the Discord, I will stream some gaming. What do I think about Corpse's rise to fame? I think it's cool. I think like I look at it more from like a long-term standpoint, where essentially whatever he plays now is probably because he has such a large following in so many different facets, like that I think it would be wise for him to branch out to like other video games. As far as, you know, things that he could play, I always thought Rust would be a really good one to jump into, since that's kind of popular now, and also kind of incorporates like the whole, you know, betrayal and, personalities and all that kind of stuff that's involved in Let's Plays. But I think he's doing his thing. It was funny. I saw the other day. I was like, he had like 77,000 people watching his live stream, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm so thankful for what I have. I mean, that's sometimes all you can do is like, when you watch someone blow up, all you can do is just be like, well, I'm happy for them, and I just got to be thankful for what I have, because I feel that I have a lot with all of you, and I'm very thankful for that, But it's crazy. Yeah, freaking Among Us is off the hizzy manizzy. Lils with a 5 says, I've been listening for almost 3 years now. I've only missed one live stream. Thank you for all your live stream. You're welcome, Liz. Thank you for always... Lils, thanks for always being here. Pussy's meowing. He is. Let me let him in real quick. He's crazy. He's a crazy boy. Stinky boy. Stinky. Stink. It's so funny, like, I told you, like, years ago we had this other cat that I was taking care of for a friend. And I remember we had a mattress, plopped up on the side of a room vertically. So it was probably like 8 feet tall or something like that. And the cat was like looking up at it like he was poised to jump, and I was thinking about like Pradeep's like athletic abilities and how much of nice. Pradeep has locked in his position on the backpack that I strategically put at my feet, and he's good to go. It's so funny, he just like loops in that like a snake. But anyways, this cat's name was Rocky, and he looked at this 8-foot fucking mattress, and I was like, there's no way whatever you're attempting to do to like jump up and get up there. And he fucking launched himself 8 feet in the air up on top of this mattress like nothing. And I was like, that's insanity. It's actually insanity. Because Pradeep's athletic ability is like 1/4 that. Like, I don't know. He can't really jump very high and is not very good. Have I posted Pradeep to the Pets channel on Discord? I have, yeah. Should be some old pictures in there of him somewhere. But yeah, I think someone said that Corpse will not be going back to the to narrations, and I don't blame him. You know what I mean? Like, somebody says it was because it was too stressful or whatever. I mean, whatever the reason may be. I mean, like, when you go from one piece of content to another, and it literally blows your, whenever your ratio of fans are like a 5-to-1 ratio, where you go from 1 million subs to 6 million subs, all in the span of a time because of a video game. Like, you kind of have to stick with that. And who knows, maybe you guys could coerce him to read something on stream or something like that. But yeah, I don't blame him. You know what I mean? Like, that's his bread and butter now, is playing video games. He's a Let's Player, and I guess he's a rap star. As a result, fuck. As a result, Oscar met South African model and paralegal Riva Steenkamp at a party in November of 2012. The pair hit it off and soon began dating pretty seriously. As for a while, it seems that Riva was phenomenally smitten with Oscar. Many of her more superficial friends would wonder aloud what Riva saw in him, but those close to her knew what it was. When Riva was in her early 20s, she had broken her back in a horse riding accident and was forced to essentially learn to walk all over again. It was one of the most debilitating and humbling experiences of her entire life, and she never forgot how much strength and willpower it took to conquer her temporary disability. She saw that same kind of fortitude in Oscar, and it made her love him. Made her love. Lucas says, alright, GG, or gotta go. Thanks for keeping me happy tonight. When do you go live next? Yeah, so usually I go live the nights before videos come out. So new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So new streams recording these stories will usually be the nights before. So Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. But I can't always guarantee that. Sometimes I'm like not quite in like the streaming mood, or I'm tired, or I'm trying to like reset my schedule. So I usually can at least hit like 2 streams a week, but if it's less than that, I do apologize. If it's more, you're welcome. She saw that same kind of fortitude in Oscar, and it made her love him for it. The pair spent Christmas of 2012 together, and after a few months more of steady dating, decided to spend Valentine's Day of 2013 together too. It was the perfect date to mark the blossoming of their new relationship, and both parties must have been feverishly excited at the prospect of such a romantic occasion. But what they didn't know was that an evening that would begin with love and affection would end in a nightmare of terror and violence that would set the world's media aflame. According to Oscar, his Valentine's date with Riva went marvelously well. The pair shared a romantic meal, watched a movie, and then, after a little too much wine, spent some time in bed together before falling asleep. Then, in the early hours of the following morning, Oscar awoke to hear a noise coming from the ensuite bathroom. Ensuite, is that? Ensuite. In a set or connected series, forming a series or set with something else in the same style as apartments, to be let en suite or singly. Singly? What the fuck? Joel, your consistency is not the same. What do you mean, consistency? Like with, my video output? I'm confused what the context is there. Oh, my consistency of streams, yeah. Yeah, I mean, in that scenario, all I can say is that I try my best to be absolutely as consistent as I can for new videos. And I think I've been as consistent as possible for that for like at least 3 years now, which is pretty solid. You know what I mean? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't think I've missed one of those in I don't know how long, And as far as being consistent for streams, I don't know what to say. Those are different. Those are a different experience. It's happening live. It's a lot of moving parts, with a lot of like coordination efforts, and sometimes my mind is just not in the right place to be like entertaining, I suppose, or like or perhaps I'm even just busy that night with some other preoccupied social thing or whatever, or some other work, or and so I just figured maybe it would just be more efficient to record stories by myself in the lonesome of my room. But yeah, it's not I do apologize that I'm not getting 3 streams a week or whatever, but I do hope to. It's just sometimes the mind and everything just has to be like, all the planets have to be in proper alignment sometimes. Do I have a job other than this? This is my full-time job now. Then, in the early hours of the following morning, Oscar awoke to hear a noise coming from the ensuite bathroom, one that sounded an awful lot like the window sliding open. Oscar continued to lie there, listening in the darkness, and in the moments that followed, he swore he'd heard someone actually trying to climb in through the bathroom window. Moving as quietly as possible, he slid off of his bed to retrieve a loaded pistol that he had hidden nearby, and arguably, Oscar might be right to be so vigilant. Despite having a population 6 times smaller than the United States, South Africa has 23% more violent crime, And the wealthy Pretoria neighborhood that Oscar... Wait, is that the neighborhood Pretoria, or is that like a term? In the wealthy Pretoria neighborhood. Oh, Pretoria Solo, called Sepatori by its speakers, is the urban lingua franca Pretoria metropolitan area of South Africa. Okay. So it's a place. I thought it was like a term or something like that. A term. Truck drivers love you, man. There is like a small hardcore fan niche out there. Long drives in the middle of nowhere with your narration and a cig are best. Oh, nice. Yeah. We respect truck drivers. That's what my father does. He, is more of a day traveler now, kind of just working for a company. But I've got a lot of respect for truck drivers because it seems like it's a very difficult and lonely job. So I'm glad that I can assist you guys for those long rides. Despite having a population 6 times smaller than the United States, South Africa has 23% more violent crime, and the wealthy Pretoria neighborhood that Oscar called home had been previously targeted by violent home invaders. Approaching the bathroom door with his pistol locked and loaded, Oscar was terrified. His new girlfriend was lying in bed just feet away. There was a potentially violent home invasion about to occur, and he hadn't had time to put his prosthetic legs on. He was walking on his stumps. Later, Oscar would say that this made him feel utterly defenseless. He then heard a noise that, to him, sounded like whoever was on the other side of the bathroom was about to rush. Pretty please, dude. I don't know why. He just got to fiddle with stuff. He's a fiddler. He's a fiddler on the roof. Except in this case, he's down at my feet, playing with some sort of cord on the backpack. Yeah, I'm curious where this story's going because, this seems to be painting a bit of a picture of his innocence. Now, we're not done with it. We got a long ways to go, so don't jump to any conclusions. But I do recall that this guy was pretty sus. Pretty sus. You think you're going to do nursing? Got any advice going into it? I would say if you go into nursing, just know that school is hard. There's no other way I can put it. School is difficult, but if you put the time and effort into studying and working your butt off to do well in it, you'll get by it. You'll pass your boards, if you study hard for those, and, you can take that potentially quite a few times. So fear not, but just try your best. You know what I mean? A lot of students that I had gone to school with, they thought that they could have the conventional college experience where you drink and party and yada, yada, yada. And, I would say try to put that in the back of your mind if you haven't already. And, just go into it with an open mind, and, hopefully you can find some study buddies and stuff like that, and just understand that it's going to be a difficult, 2 to 4 years. Why did I leave nursing? Just because YouTube I wanted to pursue that more. That made me happier creatively and, job-wise. The God of Pez with the 5 says, hey, listen, you have nothing to apologize for other than not giving me my e-hug. Shame on you and your glorious beard. You don't want none of these e-hugs. These e-hugs usually result in an asthma attack, I'll tell you. You will be squeezed breathless. But thank you for the 5. The God of Pez. Just imagine coming across like a Pez machine that's like some ancient Egyptian machine, but it shoots out fire or something. I don't even know. Happiness is what we need. How tall am I? Just know that I'm dangerous. That's all you need to know. Fellow nurse here, just keep going. Nurses school is hard, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, you know, it's sometimes all you can see is like the fact that it sucks wiener, but then all of a sudden you're done and you're free and you're making money. And you know, I would honestly say most of what you learn in nursing school, it definitely adds to the theory. And I, you know, would say people who worked in hospital settings while going to school or previously had a lot more knowledge and sort of application. Am I a midget? No, I'm 5'10". 5'10" and made of, I don't really know what rhymes with 10. Somewhere between 4 foot and 6'10". You feel like you're making it now? I do, yeah. I am very fortunate to have you guys as sorry, I burped. Subscribers, and you know. When's my birthday? If you don't want to disclose it, yeah, I have I had a birthday stream. It was June 4th. Zach, you're also 5'10". Nice, dude. Let's fucking arm wrestle. You get me chatting, lol. Yeah, get me chatting. I like chatting with you guys. You're 4'11", Sadie. Yeah, that's alright. I mean, everybody's different heights and different shapes and sizes and shit like that. I don't know. It's whatever. You've been listening to me since you started out. I'm so happy how much you've grown. Yeah, I do appreciate it. Yeah, I'm a Gemini. I don't really understand the astrological stuff. People say certain things match up with certain things. Believe me, whatever magic people are seeing, I don't see it. Other than the fact that I've got 2 personalities like a Gemini. Woo, 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 woo. Herbert Small with the 5 says, do you have to open graves to find women to fall in love with? The Mummy, 1932. You have opened my heart and I adore you for it. Thanks, Herbert. What does it say? Do you have to open graves to find women to fall in love with? That's pretty funny. I wonder if they use that in the Brendan Fraser one. Dude, those Brendan Fraser Mummy movies were fucking sweet. It sucks that he like fell off. But I do love that like reaction gif that people use where I do love that reaction gif that they use for like when he's like laughing really fucking hard at some like award show. He just looks like he's wasted, you know. And then there's that other like meme of him where they made his eyes look like he's just like really, really fucking sad and crying. And you're on birth control, which means we're astrologically compatible. Do you have to take chemicals to make that happen? Or to like be compatible with somebody? As my wise astronomer professor once said, astrology is bull. It's just like it's like the religion of white girls, you know. But I donated to it every year, otherwise they say they'll kill me. But, you know, just because they're an asparagus is all. Yeah. Who's my Overwatch main? Hanzo. Sake! Sake! I just spam sake the whole time. There's so many times I've just shot arrows as Hanzo and just like randomly hit heads. It's such a... You're just shooting logs downrange, baby. His new girlfriend was lying in bed just feet away, and there was potentially a violent home invasion about to occur, and he hadn't had time to put his prosthetic legs on. He was walking on his stumps. Later, Oscar would say this made him feel utterly defenseless. He then heard a noise that, to him, sounded like whoever was on the other side of the bathroom was about to rush into the bedroom to do God knows what with them. He panicked and fired 4 shots through the bathroom door. The first thing Oscar did was turn back towards his bed, where he had expected Riva to be scared out of her wits, having been woken up by the gunshots. But there was no Riva, only an empty bed. It was then that Oscar realized who was behind the door. It wasn't some violent home invader. It was his girlfriend, Riva. He tried to open the bathroom door, but it was locked from the inside. Oscar then grabbed a cricket bat and began to smash down the door and succeeded in creating a large hole through which he was able to crawl. He then unlocked the door, grabbed the unconscious Riva, then actually carried her downstairs in preparation for the ambulance he had called. Riva was rushed to the hospital but had... Oops. Hey Raven, what's up? Welcome, welcome. Suck it! You're an asparagus? Any asparaguses in the chat? Yeah, I'm kind of confused. Yeah, like, why was she in the Wait, what? He was in the bathroom? Wait, he tried to open the bath... So she was in the bathroom? Wait. Whoever was on the other side of the bathroom was able to rush into the bedroom to do God knows what with them. Okay. And then he shot in there. Just randomly shot in there. And then busted open the thing to get her. Like, why was she in the bathroom? Right. I'm sure the author's going to get there, but... Do I watch Dragon Ball Z? I used to watch it religiously as a fucking kid. Every day, come home from fucking school and get to watch Goku power up his fucking Kamehameha wave for the 9th day in a row. And then that was the episode, and be like, next time on Dragon Ball Z, Goku finally shits his pants. But will Vegeta be able to clean it all up? Liz, I'm fairly certain that this author is setting up a narrative. Like, they're not writing the story as if to, like, create a biased perspective. They're setting up the narrative, like, of... I think it's doing the exact job right now. Is it's like tricking you into thinking this is sus, you know what I mean? And then when we get into the trial, ooh, Carrie, another big donation of 45 Canadian maple syrup doll hair. Says not for anything, but I'm June 9th and love that The Shining still remains one of your faves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, The Shining, well, happy birthday month, gang. And The Shining is the shit. I mean, it's just, there needs to be more, like, ominous movies, scary movies like that don't rely too much upon jump scares or anything of that nature. But it just really has a sense of just dread throughout all of it and a sense of mystery. I love those type of movies. Riva was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead after attempts to revive her failed. For Oscar, it was a living nightmare. It seemed that he tried to defend the girl he loved, but in doing so, had ended up killing her instead. At his trial, Oscar seemed genuinely remorseful, admitting that he had shot Riva by accident and how doing so had destroyed his life completely. It was mostly established by witness testimony that Oscar and Riva had a very healthy relationship and were very much in love. Valentine's cards were presented as evidence, affectionate WhatsApp exchanges that were brought before the court as proof that there was nothing overly sinister about Riva's death, that it was nothing more than a tragic accident. But other evidence was submitted too, evidence that suggested that there was Big Trouble, Little China. You haven't seen Dr. Sleep yet, worth watching. You know, I'll be honest with you. Dr. Sleep wasn't bad, right? But, like, I don't know. Like, I really don't think the fucking Shining needed a sequel. because the manner in which that it created the sequel was like this. I don't know. It was like this really. It's like kind of like whenever fucking George Lucas tried to explain the Force with like metachlorians. You know what I mean? In the prequels, like everyone knew what the fucking Force was. It was like some sort of cool ass like spiritual power that existed within the universe that certain people were more prone to controlling. And but then they started adding like really objective like scientific data to it called metachlorians, and it just kind of ruins it. You know what I mean? It just kills it. And I kind of felt like Dr. Sleep sort of did that by adding this like really like whimsical. It was certainly was weird and creepy and stuff, but it sort of added this like whimsical sort of like overworld to everything that I felt was really, really unnecessary in regards to what was considered, you know, the quote unquote shining, or like the certain spiritual, powerful, like psychic abilities that people had. And the overall movie just felt wildly unnecessary, you know? I don't know. Hey, listen. But other evidence was submitted too. Evidence that suggested that there was trouble in paradise. In one particular text message, sent less than 3 weeks before her death, Riva told Oscar that she was scared of him sometimes. She said that whenever Oscar snapped, that she was terrified, and went on to describe his behavior as nasty. Riva's mother, June Steenkamp, also had doubts that her daughter's death was merely a tragic accident. She told a courtroom that she didn't believe Oscar's story at all, that none of his actions suggested that he felt protective of her. She believed that Riva and Oscar had a horrible fight or argument that evening, and that she'd fled to the bathroom because she was scared that this is the longest fucking sentence ever. What the fuck? Why is there so many? Oh, no, it ends there. Okay. Axman says Dr. Sleep was fine on its own. The ending where they went back to the hotel felt like studio interference demanding some fan service. For sure, yeah. I guess, I don't know. The fact that it needed a sequel. Well, I guess I didn't read the book. So, I mean, the book existed, but wasn't it when was it written? Was it written pretty recently? Do you feel as if though it was kind of forced? I don't know. I mean, it's up to, you know, Stephen King. It's up to him. You're just holding my imagination. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at this point in my social isolation. I've created this thing where I just talk in front of a computer for hours to myself and read stories. Or in my social isolation to read the stories, I've generated a 600-person chat to make the time go by less lonely. Someone suggests a good subreddit to check out. I really like r/imaginary landscapes. It's pretty fucking cool. She believed that Riva and Oscar had a horrible fight or argument that evening, and that she'd fled to the bathroom because she was scared and had naturally locked the door behind her. I think he may have shot once, and then he had to go on and kill her because she would have been able to tell the world what really happened, what he's really like. She later told journalists, asserting that there was no doubt in her mind that Oscar had killed her daughter because she had wanted to break up. I believe their relationship was coming to an end, she said. In her heart of hearts, she didn't think it was making either of them happy. As the trial concluded, Oscar Pistorius was convicted of manslaughter, having escaped the murder charge that state prosecutors were hoping for. The conviction came with a prison sentence of just 5 years, but a combination of cooperating with law enforcement and good behavior in prison meant that Oscar was just released just 10 months into his sentence. He was still under house arrest and had community service to complete, but the fact remains that someone was able to take a life and see the inside of a jail cell for just 10 months. Even in light of the accidental nature of Riva's death, just 10 months seemed like an alarmingly light sentence. But over the course of years, successive appeals and mounting evidence all pointed towards the likelihood that Oscar's version of events was just pure spin, and that somehow he had actually known it was Riva in the bathroom that night before he opened fire. This assertion that Oscar Pistorius had deliberately murdered his girlfriend gained so much traction by Real Bees fake top hats. That's funny. Our husky tantrums. Oh, I had a husky growing up. Well, he was a Malamute, and man, yeah, he could get loud sometimes. r/Joel. Yeah, go there. r/Let's Read Official is a good one, too. I should listen to Weirdcore. Is that a type of music or like a podcast? Poob. It's a funny name. Poob wants a Discord invite. What mic do I use? I use a... You're listening to right now is a AKG C214 microphone for streaming. And it goes into a Zoom UAC2 interface. And I record into an H4n Zoom microphone. So 2 different microphones smushed together like lovers on a cold night. You have Valentines for Valentine's Day? Of course I do. Mr. Pradeep. And his silky smooth black hair. Husky tantrums crap me out. Yeah, it's cute. Did I ever get into the X-Files? I did, actually. I remember back in the day, I pretty religiously would watch in middle school the Sunday night lineup for shows on Fox. And there was like Family Guy and Simpsons and all sorts of random bullshit. And I think sometimes they would have the X-Files. And that was pretty sick. They actually had like a Cops X-Files crossover episode that I thought was really cool. I recall that one the most. The Discord invite. Yeah, one of the mods. Are any of the mods here? I haven't seen them chatting in a while. It seems like mods have taken a break. Go crazy. Go stupid. The City Girls? Is that a show? This assertion that Oscar Pistorius had deliberately murdered his girlfriend gained so much traction that by 2017, Oscar's sentence was upgraded to murder, and he was sent back to prison for an additional 13 years. It was a strange and drawn-out process, made even more bizarre. Married with Children, Simpsons, King of the Hill, X-Files, hell yeah. Was Married with Children on there too? I thought that was like an even older show. Like a couple years prior. Damn. It was a sick lineup though. They had some good ass shows. Do I have a PlayStation or Xbox? I had an Xbox One just for Halo 5, and I gave it to my buddy's kid, and he's enjoyed that. But then I got a PS4 to play Red Dead 2, and I still have the PS4, but I doubt that I'll ever get the PS5 unless something like really badass comes out on it, and if anybody ever, is able to get it again. The stream's not about to end. I'm just about to finish up story 4 here, and we got 2 more after. It was a strange and drawn-out process, made even more bizarre by the fact that South African courts don't have juries, so any and all evidence was reviewed solely by a handful of prosecutors and judges before any fresh sentence was handed out. What exactly this new evidence showed isn't available to the public just yet, but whatever it did or did not prove, it led to a South African judge to throw the full weight of the judicial system behind one of their country's biggest sports stars. Whatever that evidence was, it must have been pretty damning indeed. And if the death of Riva Steenkamp was And if the death of Riva Steenkamp wasn't simply some tragic accident, then the implications are horrifying. A young model went over to her sports star boyfriend's home, not for any Valentine's Day romance, but to break up with him. This person was so enraged by the rejection that she was forced to lock herself in his bathroom. He tried to smash the door down with a cricket bat, and when he realized he might use her cell phone... Fuck, sorry, I'm messing this up. How bizarre, how bizarre. You're well too young for Married with Children. I mean, I remember it was on TV, but I feel like it was just slightly before my time. He tried to smash the door down with a cricket bat, and when he realized she might use her cell phone to call for help, he fired 4 shots through the wood of the door, one of which stuck her. Damn it! I fucked that sentence up, He tried to smash the door down with a cricket bat, and when he realized she might use her cell phone to call for help, he fired 4 shots through the wood of the door, one of which struck her in the skull. On a day of the year when couples everywhere should be getting together, romancing each other and enjoying their companionship, Valentine's Day of 2013 became one of terror, pain, and death for young Riva Steenkamp, who died scared and alone in the bathroom of a man she barely knew. You're only 83? I would be interested to find out who's the oldest individual to watch my streams and or videos. Y'all believe Chick-fil-A forgot your fries the other day? I would have gone back through, because Chick-fil-A is pretty, customer service, savvy. And, they're all about, being ultra nice there, or whatever the fuck. Al Bundy for president. I don't recall watching, Married with Children and, laughing a whole lot. Maybe it was funny, but I don't know. Oh, Pradeep's here. What the fuck? Oh yeah, I let him in. I forgot. He's up and he's moving. The leg brushings mean he wants free. Every time Pradeep, sometimes he'll startle me by brushing into my leg, and I was just imagining, because I'm at a stand-up desk, and I imagine, what it would feel like to wade in the water that's, waist height, and you feel something brush up against you, but it's a little sea cat. Hello, I'm the sea cat. Yeah, a lot of mature people. It's interesting, because a lot of, do you ever go on, Twitch streams, and it's, a ton of people, but I'm fairly certain they're all, usually really, really young. So it's nice to see, a mature chat. What's my cat's name? His name's Pradeep. Pradeep. You remember when I told you got that desk? Yeah, it's sweet. I don't know. I feel way more I'm ready to fucking do some fucking I did push-ups. Can you believe that? And they were easy to do. I didn't even have to move a chair out of the way. I just fell over right into my push-up. Did 7 of them. Very impressive, too. Very impressive form. A lot of the times people say when they see me doing push-ups, they think, it almost looks like you're pushing the world down. And I say that I am. I can confirm. What does Pradeep look like? It's spelled Purrdeep. He's a black cat with, greenish yellow eyes. They fluctuate depending on his mood. Oh. On a rainy Valentine's Day evening in February of 1971, 19-year-old... Sorry, let me take a drink of water. Let me do a little bit of a gargle. A little bit of a gargoyle. Dude, I want to get gargoyles. I throw the Earth's rotation off a little bit every time I do a push-up. We went from a 23.5 degree axis to a 23.56. Okie dokie with the two says, hen tie is best tie. Yes. Very snug around the neck. We just made it through the longest month. It was a long month, wasn't it? Yeah. Also, do you guys ever get like notifications from your internet provider that says that your data, like you used up all your data, but not on your phone, but like on your actual internet? That was really weird to me. I've never gotten a message like that, but it told me that I used all of it up. And I was like, what the fuck? When the fuck they start counting that shit? On a rainy Valentine's Day evening in February of 1971, 19-year-old Jesse McBain drove over to meet his girlfriend. Damn, bro. McBain. Is it McBain? Probably McBain. You have a gargoyle, you call him Buddy, you got him from Open Doors. I mean, it would be sweet, you know, you have like one like on your, I don't know, outside your house or some shit. Come on. Where you at? Where you at? Damn. Whatever. I think it's McBain, probably. On a rainy Valentine's Day evening in February of 1971, 19-year-old Jesse McBain drove over to meet his girlfriend, Patricia Mann, at her college dormitory in Durham, North Carolina. They had arranged to celebrate their most romantic day of the year by attending a Valentine's dance at the nearby Watts Hospital. Patricia was studying nursing, and her practical lessons took place at Watts, so as a potential future member of the nursing staff there, she had managed to land an invitation to the dance. At approximately 11:30, Jesse and Patricia had one last dance, said their goodbyes, and began to walk back to Jesse's car. They then drove over to a deserted housing development area that would later become the neighborhood of Crowsdale. The fuck? Crowsdale or Crowsdale? Let me look that up real quick. Not found. What about on old YouTubies? Ben Crowsdale. A bit. Somebody made a highlight video for a 7th grader. That's pretty funny. Just, you know, like sometimes you can look up like on YouTube, you can type it in and someone will talk about it or some shit like that. Man, fuck. I don't know. Wait, maybe this one has it. Ryan. Man of the match. Cheers. Alright. Well, I was hoping it would. Does anybody know how to say it? Crowsdale? Yeah, it's probably Crowsdale. I don't fucking know. Alright, anyways. They then drove over to a deserted housing development area that would later become the neighborhood of Crowsdale. No house had been constructed yet, but A few sections of road had been laid out in an area that was shrouded by a quarter-mile's worth of greenery. Those that ventured down there were likely to find collections of beer bottles, cigarette butts strewn among the trees. It was a place people went to screw around, exactly the kind of private, out-of-the-way place the two young lovebirds might need to go to get a little alone time. Patricia's 1 a.m. curfew came and went, and her parents... Fuck. Natalia, hey, long time no see in the chat. What's up? Princess Vanilla Coleman with a $15 donation says, love hanging out with you. Your channel and podcasts are amazing. Also, I love Pradeep. Oh, you guys would love Pradeep, honestly. He's like probably... He's just such a nice little boy. And he never gets mad about stuff. And he's very inquisitive. He likes to take a look at things and give it a sniff. He's just a good boy. He started writing a small fic about me. Thank you. Andrea will have to read that. Patricia's 1 a.m. curfew came and went, and her friends back in the girls' dorm assumed she'd sneak back in at some point on her tiptoes, yet little did they know that they'd never see her or her boyfriend ever again. The following morning, Patricia still hadn't returned from her date with Jesse. This was the first time the young woman had ever broken her dormitory curfew. Dormitory? I think I said dormitory. This was the first time the young woman had ever broken her dormitory curfew, and those close to her were quickly beginning to worry. They knew Patricia to be a deeply mature and responsible young woman who always played by the rules and took authority seriously. And to their knowledge, Jesse was an affectionate, respectful boyfriend, one that Patricia seemed very much in love with. But not even youthful romance would be able to make the young nursing student break curfew. Slowly but surely, as the day progressed, the concern of Patricia's roommates went from mild to grave. What started with a few questions turned to them calling around local hospitals in case they'd been in a car accident. They then filed a missing persons report with the Durham County Sheriff's Department, but were still so anxious that they began to physically search for their missing roommate on foot. They roamed the surrounding area, canvassed her usual hangout spots around town and on campus, until someone had the idea to go search the Lover's Lane over at the housing development. It was here that the searchers would find Jesse's empty car parked in one of the quieter spots on the development. The car was locked, and on the back seats there were 2 warm coats, presumably belonging to Jesse and Patricia. And there was no damage to the car. Everything about the scene seemed perfectly in order, except of course for the fact that the last 2 people to travel in it seemed to have vanished from the face of the earth. By this point, local police have informed both Jesse and Patricia's parents that their children are missing. At first, all involved have entertained... Fuck. Dude, I'm hungry. Anybody else hungry? Anybody else hungry and like to eat food whenever they're hungry? Does anyone here not eat food when the sense of hunger overwhelms them? Carrie says, Joel, help. Wait, what happened? Oh, then she says, lol. Okay. Oscar 2B91 with the 10. Thank you, Oscar. How do you unpoop your pants? No, that's a question old as time. I've been wondering that all night since the start of the stream. Whenever seeing all of you guys came in gave me anxiety and I shit myself. I have not had time to unpoop my pants since, so haven't been putting a lot of time into it. Thank you, Carlito. Thank you, thank you. At first, all involved had entertained the idea that the couple's disappearance was nothing more than a misguided but romantic attempt to elope, to skip town, get hitched, and settle down somewhere new. But investigating police quickly began to realize that there was something distinctly sinister about the case. There had apparently been no attempt by either Jesse or Patricia to inform anyone of their plans, not even close friends, and the idea that neither would at least leave a note or leave to... I'm fucking hungry. I'm fucking hungry. Yeah, I want food. What's my fave food? Oh boy, that's a good question. Let me tell you what. I'd probably say like lasagna or something. You feel me? Lasagna's so good. You need sleep, but you can't. Just lay in bed and start thinking about adventures. You started doing fasting, but your parents started lecturing you? Well, I guess when you're young, fasting, if you're a growing individual, or perhaps you're training, if you're training, fasting might not be the best thing, like for a sport or something, but, oh, you want a bong drink? Okay. Let's see what I can do. It's not bong, it's just water. But yeah, fasting overall is pretty normal for humans, especially within this sort of like period of our evolution. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of good things, a lot of healing properties happen during like a 16-hour fast, even a 24-hour fast. There's a lot of like good things that your body does for itself while you allow it to not constantly being in a digestion phase. A lot of information here on YouTube you can look up, but I don't know. Any news stories on Spotify soon? Yes. Wait. Oh, fuck. Wait. When was... Oh, shit. Let me check some. I am too sexy for my pants. Let me, because I do it every 2 weeks, right? And I think it was just this past week that I did it. Let's see here. 125. Yeah, so... February 9th, which is not this Tuesday, but the next, you will see an updated Spotify and iTunes podcast, not iTunes, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts. And the audio is all going to be remastered, so be excited about that. It's going to be sweet. Hey, good night, Isabella. Sleep tight. There had apparently been no attempt by either Jesse or Patricia to inform anyone of their plans, not even close friends, and the idea that neither would at least leave a note or letter to a relative seemed highly unlikely. Over time, those closest to Patricia began to assume the worst. I just got the sickest feeling in my stomach, said a cousin of Patricia's. I just knew something terrible had happened. For 2 weeks after they were declared missing, a team of police officers and local volunteers mounted an intensive search of the surrounding area, combing through the wooded areas around Lover's Lane for any trace of the missing couple. They followed up lead after lead and tip after tip, but no one could find hide nor hair of Jesse or Patricia. With frustration mounting, police decided to widen the range of the search area and enlist the help of helicopter support and specifically trained forensic... I got caught up on my spit. Grilled cheese. Yeah, really good grilled cheese is fucking baller. Fucking mwah, chef's fart. I was thinking if I was a little kid, just so happens if I was like a little kid and I was singing fucking the ABCs or some shit, and right at the end when it says like, XYZ, next time won't you sing with me, I was thinking it'd be funny if I was a little kid and I said something like, next time won't you drink my pee. Isn't that funny? Like if you were like a little kid and you said that. Pooh, I gotta put you on timeout. You're saying naughty stuff. With frustration mounting, police decided to widen the range of the search area and fucking poop. Fucking poop. With frustration mounting, police decided to widen the range of the search area and enlist the help of helicopter support and specifically trained forensic divers. But in the end, it was the misfortune of a surveyor in nearby Orange County that provided the police with their most important lead. On February 25, 1971, a full 12 days after Jesse and Patricia went missing, Robert Kirby is walking along a dirt road in the backwoods of Orange County, North Carolina, when something catches his eye. Among the trees, maybe 50 meters or so off the trail, the surveyor thinks he sees what appears to be the limb of a mannequin lying among the fallen leaves. Curious, he wanders over to check it out, but the distinct shape of a human leg he sees is not that of a plastic mannequin. It's real human flesh. He rushes to a nearby roadside diner to have someone call the police, and by the end of that, forensic investigators discovered not one, but 2 human corpses up in the woods of Orange County, and they turned out to belong to none other than Jesse McBain and Patricia Mann. Finding the young couple and decomposing... Yikes, dude. Jesus. You love hearing his voice making jokes because I'm not completely used to it. I'm so used to the scary story stuff. Yeah, no, it's okay. I like to go. I feel like I got like 9 personalities playing at once. And it's fun to do funny voices. Hawk not here. Hawk was here earlier, but he had to go do his Hawkly duties. Probably out terrorizing somebody else's chickens. Finding the young couple decomposing was bad enough. Oh, fuck. Finding the young couple and decomposing was bad enough for the searchers, but the manner in which they'd obviously been dispatched of was massively disturbing to them. The couple had their hands tied, and then were made to stand back against a tree so another, larger rope could be wrapped around them. Once their killer had secured them in place, he began to torture them. Jesse's ear and mouth were both found to have blood in them, and a variety of large and small abrasions to his lips and forehead suggested he was beaten senseless before he was killed. At some point, Jesse and Patricia's killer had ripped their eyelashes off before continuing to savagely beat them. Then, when whoever had tied them up had grown tired of beating them, they wrapped rope collars around their necks, using a kind of knot that could be repeatedly tightened over and over again. We can only assume that the killer used these rope collars to slowly choke the life out of Jesse and Patricia, gradually tightening the rope collars over a drawn-out period of time until neither was able to breathe. Each of the couple's bodies had all of their valuables intact too. Jesse was still wearing an expensive wristwatch and a class ring when his body was found. Patricia was also wearing jewelry, and her purse was left back in the abandoned car. Their deaths were not part of some robbery. Their killer has absolutely no monetary gain in mind when he'd taken them. Neither were there any signs of indecent assault on Patricia. She had a great deal of bruising around her face and neck, but nothing below the waistline. There was no ulterior motive. All their killer had wanted to do was torture and kill. The investigation that followed was severely hampered by different agencies' complete lack of collaboration. For example, the FBI seemed to consider the local sheriffs as frankly beneath them, and a feeling of contempt quickly grew between the two groups. Everybody worked on the case as individuals, as Detective Tom Horn once put it. Not a lot of information was being shared by the various agencies, and the rivalry was tremendous. A lot of work was done, but it was individuals, so there were definitely some missed opportunities. Yet even with the appalling level of disorganization that pervaded, a number of likely suspects emerged as a result of some tip-top police work. Some had to be ruled out after taking polygraph tests which proved their innocence, but one of the men who failed was actually a doctor at Watts Hospital who had previously worked with Patricia Mann. When the police sought to question him again, he completely refused to cooperate and would only release his statement through a defense attorney he began to keep on retainer. This made the... fuck. You love Tony Hawk? Tony Hawk's a cool guy. I like that meme where it's like, Tony Hawk, existential crisis, 2, or something. This made him the #1 suspect in the entire case, and to this day there's never really been anyone else who's garnered such legitimate scrutiny. But without the proper evidence to charge him, very little action was taken against any of the supposed killers. No one ever really zeroed in on anyone, Detective Horn stated, and as a result, the case quickly went cold. 43 years later in 2014, Detective Tim Fuck. Oh, Tim Fuck, what the hell, man? Raven's kitty, he's sick? Did someone say something about... Oh wait, be right back. Cat got sick and needed to clean it up. Wish she wasn't sick. Oh, sorry about that. Someone disliked the stream? How dareth thee? How absolutely dareth thee? "43 years later in 2014, Detective Tim Horn was still working for the Orange County Sheriff's Department when a cousin of Patricia's, Carolyn Spivey, contacted him with some fresh information regarding her cousin's murder. Along with his partner at the time, Detective Horn opened up the previously closed case file, poring over old statements and boxes and evidence. They reanalyzed the possibilities of former suspects, considered new ones, and began to condense as much of the multi-agency information as possible into the pursuit of one solid suspect. And they succeeded. Detective Horn then contacted almost every single one of the detectives who worked on the case back in 1971 and gathered them together for a presentation. It was one which would show them how he'd pieced together multiple pieces of a decades-long puzzle, only to come to one solid conclusion, that it was the Watts doctor, a man Patricia had actually known, that had murdered her and her boyfriend, Jesse. When the presentation was finished, what followed was a prolonged silence. To all in attendance, Tom Horn's hard work had presented them the best opportunity yet to end a mystery that had persisted for almost half a century. They had their suspect, they had evidence. Now it was time to make their move. Using what's known as MVAC, Detective Horn was able to extract a DNA sample from the knotted ropes used to tie up and strangle Jesse and Patricia. An MVAC is basically a wet vacuum DNA collection system that is designed to extract strands of DNA from difficult-to-reach places. Places just like the fibrous folds in a length of rope. What came back was a DNA sample that didn't match either Jesse or Patricia, and so in all likelihood it belonged to the killer. Detective Horn then requested a DNA sample from their #1 suspect, the Watts doctor that Patricia had worked with. Horn's argument was that, after all this time, the doctor would finally be able to clear his name and prove that it wasn't him that executed the young couple. But the doctor refused, having his defense attorney contact law enforcement to release a statement in legalese. And that might just be the most suspicious thing about our doctor, because it really does raise the question of what he has to hide. Yet despite such obvious suspicion, this doctor has never been released or fuck. Damn it, I was doing so well. It's never a mannequin. Joel, do the WAP. You do the WAP. The weaponized assault penguins is what I assume you mean. Chelsea Fernari with the 5 says, blaming it on Patricia. Wait, what? The girl in the story? Or what are we talking? Are we talking about somebody else in chat? I'm confused. But thank you for the 5, Chelsea. You know what's nice? Grabbing a speaker, streaming your stories, grabbing a foamy hot coffee, and sitting outside the cold night. Hell yeah. You're hungry? Food suggestions? I need food suggestions too, honestly. I'm ready to feast. All this reading make me hungry. Yet despite such obvious suspicion, this doctor has never been charged, and whatever new evidence led to him being asked to provide a DNA sample hasn't been shared with the public. We can only assume that Durham County Sheriff's Department are in the process of mother effer. Kasani Howell, hello. We can only assume the Durham County Sheriff's Department are in the process of putting a serious case against the man and are trying to find some way of forcing him to give a sample of his DNA. And with that DNA sample, law enforcement might just be able to end the 40-year-old mystery of who could be cold and cruel enough to wrench a loved young... What? This is such a fucking weird sentence. Cold and cruel enough. Doritos crumbed chicken. Oh, damn. French toast. Falafel. From Splice? Wait, what about Splice? Oh, wait, the girl from Splice? I do remember watching that movie. I think, what was it called? Splice? Yeah, where it's like he makes some creature in a lab that's kind of cute. And with that DNA sample, law enforcement might just be able to end this 40-year-old mystery of who could be cold and cruel enough to wrench a loved-up young couple away from one of the happiest nights of their lives, only to torture and eventually execute them in a secluded, wooded area, turning a romantic Valentine's night into the very last that each of them would... Okay. Turning a romantic Valentine's night into the very last that... Turning a romantic Valentine's night into the very last that each of them would spend on Earth. Some noise food ASMR. Me eating ass ASMR. Alright, last story. Koru, I don't know why. Every time you type 65 with the butter and the socks, it just like blurs it out. It's quite strange, isn't it? How can you be counting numbers if it won't let you put the butter in the fucking message? Pardon me, French. Pardon me, British. You guys love it when I talk like that. I know. It's just like so sickening, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like what comes into somebody's mind to just be so fucking... Ooh. 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 Oh my god. Ooh. 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 Carrie Lang with another big 45 Canadian maple syrup dollar donation. It says, Mamo Grace is putting her dog down to sleep tomorrow. Please, let's all take a moment to love our pets. Thanks, Joe. Yeah. Mama Grace, who's that? Is that someone in chat? I didn't notice. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, we really do have to just take time to appreciate what we have in life sometimes. It's very sad. I'm sorry to hear that, though. But thank you so much for your very kind donation. If you guys have a pet near you, be sure to give it a nice little pit pat. Alright, so this is the last story of the evening. I sound like Peaky Blinders. I haven't watched that show. Joel twerking ASMR. 10 hours of straight clapping cheeks. Alerting the bees. That'd be really funny. 10 hours of cheek clapping with bee noises. I sound like a really nice guy. Thanks. I try. I wish, like, I don't know. I wish it was easy to make friends IRL. Like, it is whenever you're, like, integrated into their life. But I just, like, think about, like... So, like, I don't do a whole lot, right? Like, I don't, now that life is kind of fucking boring, I don't do a whole lot. But some of what I do involves going into my gym and lifting weights for an hour and a half. And I just, like... I don't know. There's a few... I don't know what it is about young people. Like, people between the ages of, late teens to, like, fucking early mid-20s, but, like, maybe it's just my area or something like that. Maybe it's just the East Coast. I don't fucking know. But, like, people are not very social. Or else, like, or you're, like, really social with them one day, and then the subsequent days after... It's like you really got to pull teeth to get anything out of them. And I don't know. It's just like so weird, like seeing the same people day in and day out, but like not like daily becoming better friends with them. You remember that those days of like kindergarten, elementary school where you just like showed up and like that person's your fucking best friend, you know what I mean? Or whatever, and then, maybe that wouldn't always last, but you just, you progressively just got to know people and fucking become tight with them and stuff. But I feel like as you get older, usually people by their 30s, I imagine, are pretty social and don't give a fuck anymore because they probably have like a family and they're over like certain social awkward conventions. But I don't know, younger people like in their teens, you'd expect them to be the most like social, or like early 20s and stuff, like the college age range. You'd expect them to be like their most social at that point, but they're like really, really fucking reserved, and it's unfun. It's unfun. Oh my god. Chills with the $2, giving me the eyeballs. I don't believe that for a second. You need to if you don't comment in the number 15, if you don't comment in the chat right now with a check mark next to your name, I will not believe it. We got the verification process. Let's see. We're going to get it. We're going to get the real chills in the chat. There's many an imposter here, and I think this chills is looking kind of sus. Kind of sus. Alright. Anyways. I'm sorry. I just bitching about stupid stuff. I guess it's my fault too, because like I know it's like you kind of have to be the change you want in the world, you know what I mean? But I swear to God, I'm one of those people who, when you give me good energy, I respond with good energy, right? But if you don't give me anything, I just can't like, I can't force it, you know what I mean? Joel's basement. Everybody meet in Joel's basement, quick. But yeah. Joel's basement is my gym. Yeah, I'm like I go down in my basement and I just like hallucinate people like, man, they're not those black shadows over there really aren't talking to me a whole lot. They just keep tweaking around and sporadically moving into the void. Thanks, Typical. Lazy's a good voice. Lazy Masquerade. To all outside observers, it appeared that Dr. John Hamilton and his wife Susan had the perfect, loving marriage. In the 14 years of blissful union, John's passionate love for his spouse had led him to lavish her with expensive gifts and luxurious vacations, a brand new Porsche on their wedding day being just the beginning of a long list of romantically motivated purchases. But John wasn't just generous with his money. He was apparently generous of heart, too, and spent a great deal of time reminding Susan just how much he loved her in a variety of heartwarming ways. When Susan professed a yearning for employment, for a purpose outside of being a housewife, John gave her a job at his highly esteemed obstetrics and gynecology clinic in Oklahoma City. He was there for her in every way, and by all counts, they were a textbook case of romantic longevity. But that's what makes it all the more horrifying that on Valentine's Day of 2001, Dr. Hamilton's arrival at the family home kicked off a chain of events that would turn their perfect little world into a living nightmare. As you can imagine, in a marriage as loving as John and Susan's, Valentine's Day was held in high esteem. Every single year they were married, they exchanged gifts and cards, often having planned some kind of romantic rendezvous, be it dinner and a movie or a walk around a local park. But on Valentine's Day of 2001, John was needed in the operating room of his clinic, fairly early in the morning, too. Any exchange of gifts would have to wait until his lunch break, but just as he had promised, John ducked out of the clinic as soon as he was able and drove home to spend a romantic half hour with his wife, after which he would have to return to another surgery. He called her name as he walked through the front door, but she didn't answer. John suspected that his wife might have some kind of surprise in store for him, and he felt a ripple of excitement run through him as he walked up the stairs towards the master bedroom. He called his wife's name again, but still there was no answer, and it was then that something caught John's eye. Lying on the floor of the second-floor bathroom. Fuck, I didn't realize that was the end of the sentence. Ruby Perez with the 5 says, keep it up. Thank you, Ruby. Ruby. Ah. Remember that song? Guitar Hero? Do ya? You feel like no one's ever wanted to have a conversation with you? I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's like, it sucks, because it's like, sometimes you just have to go, like, grab someone by the throat and say, you're gonna be fucking social with me whether you like it or not. Maybe not, but, yeah, sometimes you just gotta go make life happen for you, you know? Like, you really can't expect anybody to just walk up to you and change your life. Am I a dating app kind of guy? I have used dating apps, yeah. I don't know. I have, like, little to no success, like, anymore. I feel like I had more dating success when I was, like, 23. I'm 30 now. But I think it's mainly because this area is, like, a pretty young, like, collegiate type of area, you know? No one's looking for a daddy. Just kidding. He called his wife's name again, but still there was no answer. And it was then that something caught John's eye, lying on the floor of the second-floor bathroom. It was Susan. She was in a crumpled, lifeless heap, with blood pooling underneath her. Paramedics were called to the scene, but Susan couldn't be revived. Those in attendance noted that she appeared to have been strangled with 2 of her husband's expensive silk neckties, but the blood on the bathroom floor was undoubtedly from the series of bloody head wounds she had due to repeated blunt force trauma, the wounds being so severe that parts of her brain were exposed, while her face was completely unrecognizable. To his absolute horror, Dr. John Hamilton was the #1 suspect in his wife's murder from the very beginning. Police have since publicly stated that there were many factors which led them to such a conclusion, the first being that there was no sign of forced entry to the home. Whoever killed Susan had the keys to the residence. It was also a crime in which nothing of value was stolen, and one in which there were no bloody fingerprints left in the bathroom, which had blood almost everywhere. This meant that there was a distinct chance that whoever killed Susan was extremely professional, incredibly lucky, or had the time and privacy to scrub the scene of incriminating evidence before the body was found. On top of that, while searching the home, police got their hands on a Valentine's Day card that Susan had written to John, presumably that year, and the message inside wasn't nearly as loving and cheerful as you might imagine. I bought this 2 weeks ago, so I guess maybe it doesn't seem as appropriate. But I do love you. Have a great day, Susan. The contents of the card raised a lot of questions concerning the state of the Hamilton marriage. Fuck, dude. You bet I know how to tie a necktie. Dirty 30. Just pull the Chill's voice, yeah. I don't know, man. I think the worst part is like if you match with somebody on like, do I have a pattern? Oh, like a pattern of clothing I wear or something? Or what do you mean? But like I think the weirdest thing when it comes to like dating apps, at least for me, is like I try to communicate with people and make conversation, and you just get like one word answers and shit, and it's just like, I don't know, like matching with someone is like, you know, on like Tinder or something is like literally only half the battle, because okay, you get to that point, you have some sort of mutual agreement upon which you both swiped right on each other or whatever the fuck. But then like actually getting someone to say something back, and then say you get that going, but then it's like, then you got to be like interesting to them, and like, you know, a lot of people like are pretty much just like, how can you impress me? I am waiting for you to impress me any day now, if you could impress me, you know. And it's just like, I'm fucking trying. You know what I mean? But it's, oh, we're at 666 viewers, oh my god. Vanessa, you were number 666. Vanessa Donato, that's a cool name. Oh, Patreon, not Pattern. Yeah, I do have a Patreon. It should be linked down below. You can get early access to all audio for just $1 a month on Patreon. It's pretty worth it to all the patrons out there. Yeah, I'm interesting to you guys, but I feel like it's because you guys give me a chance, you know what I mean? But like on there, it's in like IRL world, you know, even though it's like internet dating or whatever, it's just like so hard. It's like I said, it's like pulling teeth with people. You just can't get them to open up. You can't get them to say anything back, or like, I don't know, like I'm lucky to even get like a lol or something. You're able to rephrase Lord of the Rings from memory. I am impressed. I do love fucking Lord of the Rings. That's a name I've not heard for quite some time. Thanks, Senpai. I appreciate that. Well, that's the thing, is like if I can actually get to a date, right? If I can get to a date, it's like that's usually where things are good. But like, dude, getting people to go on a fucking date anymore, I don't even know. Like I honestly think people just use the app for like something to do. And that's fine. Nothing against that, you know? If people want to use it for attention or a self-esteem boost, or even just like something to kill time, I totally get that. But it gets disheartening from my side, where I'm just like, you know, you match with someone, you're like, oh cool, and they're just like, they just want to put literally negative effort. Like they would be, the amount of like responses that they give, I almost would prefer them not even to say anything at all, because of how little effort they put in. It's just, I don't know. It's just not fun. Carrie with the 5 Canadian says, never could get into Chills. Sorry, Canadian. Joel has a soothing voice and an amazing live stream. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, Chill's content is cool. Personally, though, like I love the guy. Probably one of the nicest, like, big YouTubers you'll ever meet or talk to. But yeah, unfortunately, even though I really do want to watch that content, I just can't listen very long. But they like seeing the people they match with. I mean, that's fair. I don't know, man. It's whatever. I really don't give a shit. Like, you know, it's probably better to meet someone organically anyways, you know, or of some fashion. But it's always as, Chills just turned 23. Happy birthday, Chills, man. It just always kind of feels like you're in an uphill battle, or you're like trudging through fucking mud trying to like dig through a swamp to find them just to say K, You're digging through a swamp and you're like, oh, I've got a bite, and you pull it out and it says lol K. The contents of the card raised a lot of questions concerning the state of the Hamiltons' marriage. Evidently, it suggests that there had been some kind of incident or argument, one that had caused a degree of turmoil and somewhat soured the Valentine's feeling. As it later turned out, this incident involved Susan catching John making phone calls to a woman employed as a topless dancer. Police actually found hundreds of calls to this person on John's cell phone during their investigation, and heard from close friends of Susan that she had confessed to considering a divorce. To the cops, the explanation seemed simple. John had murdered his wife to prevent her from running off with half of his money. But at his trial, much of the local community came out in support of Dr. Hamilton and refused to believe that the man was capable of such a horrific crime, especially given that the victim was his own beloved wife. But when the paramedics who attended the 911 call John made were questioned in court, the jury began to notice some disturbing inconsistencies in his story. Hamilton testified in court that after he contacted emergency services, he had gotten to work trying to perform CPR on his wife's bloodied corpse. And this appeared to be true, as the paramedics confirmed that when they arrived, John had been performing chest compressions. But as people who perform CPR on an almost daily basis, the paramedics noticed something peculiar about John's technique. It was incredibly ineffective. From a regular person with no first aid training, that could be understandable, but John was so bad that it almost looked like he was actually trying to revive... Whoops. Typical with the 5 says, can you do an Australian accent and say, Jonah? Wait, okay. Good eye, mates. Jonah. Aye, Jonah. Aye, Jonah. Bloody hell. Or not bloody hell. What the hell did they say? Fucking hell. Or... They say the C word a lot, guys. They say the C word a lot. Good eye, mate. It's always a little bit more chill, relaxed, laid back, so to speak. For me, I'll read Kelsby. Meeting someone IRL is fun. I had a friend who was working on the cute guy and asked her to invite him to eat with us after their shift. We were together for a bit, but it's so surreal to go for it. I don't know. I think I'm fucking that up really bad. Crikey. Yeah, honestly, Australian's kind of hard for me. Oi. Arthur Morgan. Hey, Dutch. We need more money, Arthur. We need more money. Wait, what does he even say? Arthur, we need more money. Dutch. I can't fucking do their voices. What does he say? He just makes a lot of Whoa, Nelly. Atta girl. Shit like that. Cowboy sounds. Maybe my standards are too high. IDK, bro. IDK. I don't know. It would be nice to meet somebody, but it is what it is. I got you guys. I got almost 700 people in here filling me with love. Granted, I can't, get a chat pregnant and raise a chat baby, but sure would be fun. You want me to do a southern accent? Insert cowboy sounds here. Where are we from? Down south, I suppose. Internet dating always makes me feel the final outcome will be on an episode of Dateline. Jesus Christ. That's scary. I don't think they all turn out that way. First, Red Dead Redemption dialogue is better. I did like the story of Red Dead 1 a little bit more than I like the story of this one, because the whole Dutch, we need more money, like that meme is so strong. And from a very early point, it kind of killed my immersion. Not necessarily killed my immersion, but it made me feel as if like, why the fuck are these guys listening to Dutch? You know what I mean? Like, I understand they have a bit of a history, but like, it doesn't feel as if though that history is being explained to me, because it took so long before eventually like somebody was just like, shut the fuck up, Dutch, you stupid idiot. I don't even want to go to Tahiti. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Just their like endless loyalty and desire. Like, we just need more money. Like, it just seemed like a narrative that was conveniently propped up just to give you another reason to go to the next like gameplay heist per se. You know what I mean? Which is cool, but I just feel like the motivations, like very early on, I'm just like, I do not like Dutch at all, and I don't want to listen to him, and I don't know why anybody else listens to him. And, you know, I feel like I would side much more with like Micah, you know? Micah seemed like he would like actually ask questions. It was kind of funny though. Did you ever have that experience where you were out like for a really long time doing side quests and stuff, and then like Dutch would send some of the crew from the campsite to come find you and say like, hey, you need to come back, we need to do, you know, the main story quest and stuff like that. I always thought that was funny. Typical, you can draw art for me? Sure, yeah, you know, send it over at me on Discord if you've joined the Discord, or at me on, you know, Twitter or Instagram or something, and love to check out your art. It'd be awesome. Don't want to guarantee anything, you know. Oh yeah, they'd send Javier. Yeah, Javier was a cool character. I feel like a lot of in Red Dead Redemption 2, a lot of the sort of, it's weird, it's a long ass game, right? It's a long fucking game, but I feel like a lot of the storylines, like the different ones, like even though the game was so long, they didn't really expand upon it enough. You know, like, remember the Braithwaite rivalry with that other family? I feel like by the time you like met the Braithwaites, Braithwaite or whatever the fuck, like by the time you met them and the two warring families, the Romeo, like I feel like there was supposed to be some sort of Romeo and Juliet narrative going on there, but, or like some, you know, the warring families, but it's like by the time you get to the part where you show up at the ranch to the time in which their entire estate is on fire, which was really cool. It felt really fast, you know what I mean? It just kind of felt as if though they were like really trying to rush through, and every like little minor storyline, like I just felt like all the characters didn't get enough character development for me to like give a shit about them. Even though the game is long as hell, it's a really long single player. I just didn't feel like they developed the characters enough for me to care about them in the way that you would anticipate. Chicken soup for the murderino's soul. No, typical. Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, just I need, you know what I mean? Like send it over social media. Just at me, and I can peek at it. Would love it. Would love to check it out. But John was so bad that it almost looked like he wasn't actually trying to revive Susan at all, which for a medical professional is very suspicious. John also claimed that he had tried performing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on his wife, but the paramedics claimed that John had no blood on his mouth or face when they arrived. There was so much blood around the victim's head that there was no way John could have performed mouth-to-mouth and not gotten any on him. Some of Susan's blood was also found on the steering wheel of Dr. Hamilton's car, and despite his claim in court that he had simply moved the vehicle to make room for emergency vehicles, a prosecutor was able to make use of the overall suspicion to claim that this was evidence that John had been considering an escape attempt. At one point during the trial, the prosecution's case against Dr. Hamilton appeared to be floundering. Hamilton's defense attorney had brought a number of key character witnesses to testify in court, and all had built a picture of John as nothing but a loving husband, and he believed that the nail in the prosecution's coffin would be the testimony of a crime scene investigator named Tom Bevel, an expert on blood splatter at crime scenes. Bevel was essentially brought in to confirm that the blood splatter on Dr. Hamilton's shirt, the same one he was wearing during his attempt at CPR, was consistent with a man simply trying to revive his murdered wife while in a state of extreme panic and grief. At first, Tom Bevel did indeed testify that much of the blood splatter could well have been from the doctor's attempts at CPR, but as it turned out, Bevel had noticed something that other investigators had overlooked. He had made a note of the few small flecks of blood that could be found on the inside of Hamilton Knight. Blazing Star with a 5 says, been watching your videos for years. First time at a live stream. Great voice and content. Thanks, Blazing Star. Thank you. And welcome to your first live stream. Seems like chat's kind of dead right now. Everybody's passed out. I guess I haven't said anything funny. He had made note of the small flecks of blood that could be found on the inside of Hamilton's right sleeve, a pattern he had seen many times before on the clothing of people who had killed someone with a blunt object. In the seconds that followed, the courtroom was deathly silent. An expert defense witness had testified against the person they were supposed to be defending, and in just a few words, Tom Bevel had condemned Dr. Hamilton to prison. When later asked why he had made the decision to essentially act as a witness for the prosecution, Bevel claimed he just had to tell the truth. He said he had sworn on oath, something that override any allegiance he may have had to his client. After that, it only took 2 hours for a jury of his peers to find John Hamilton guilty on the charge of first-degree murder, whereafter a judge sentenced him to life in prison. Those that followed the case were highly disturbed by the sudden turn of events. John had, and still does, maintain his innocence even to this day, but more and more evidence points to the idea that he killed his wife in cold blood. His defense team even floated the idea that he must have been innocent because the guilty timeline would mean that John went to work and performed flawless surgeries right after murdering the love of his life. This might well be true, but in the light of the guilty verdict, it's all the more damning, because it suggests that Dr. John Hamilton was able to beat his wife's skull in on Valentine's Day, then remain calm and collected enough to go and perform complicated medical surgeries. And if it's true, then maybe a more fitting name for Dr. Hamilton would be Dr. Death. I feel like that was like a meme ending, but more like Dr. Death. Joel, do you listen to... Who do I listen to? What's my favorite pastime right now? Just video games, you know. I go to the gym just to kind of like feel, I don't know, physically satisfied, I suppose. And my favorite genre of music. I mean, I really like anything. I like, you know, the chill lo-fi beats. I like the synthwave shit. I like really cool electronic experimental stuff. Stuff that's, you know, in the realm of like stuff you'll hear at the end of the stream when I play the outro, you know, Boards of Canada, things like that. But I like all types of music. Not a huge fan of pop music. Don't really like basic pop music. Don't really like, you know, pop country music. I usually find it to be really, really like derivative, you know what I mean? Or just like corny, I guess you could say. Just boring. Bethany, yeah, I do. I keep that updated. But, you know, my fave food, yes, lasagna earlier, but, you know, pretty much anything Italian like that is just delicious. But I love all food. I love all food equally. That chapter. I see that chapter. You guys talk about that chapter a lot. Let's see what they're doing. That chapter. Oh, they got 1 million subs. Wow, 2 days ago, 715,000 views. The Strange Case of Chris Smith. That's wild. The Killer Liar. That's pretty cool. I wonder if they would want to collab or something. Wow, so they post it like once a week, huh? Looks like they got like a crew making it happen. That's dope. Mini documentaries. Wow, they on their Patreon they get 5,600 a month. That's wild. They must have a crew. Oh, hey you, Mike here. Oh, wait. Mike O here. I make videos you may not have seen. Well, if you're here, you've hopefully seen one or two, or maybe even three. I make unsolved mystery, creepy conspiracy videos and make myself look as stupid as possible while doing so. Okay. That's exciting. Chicken parm. Yeah, fuck yeah. That sounds amazing. Yeah, sometimes seeing like some people's success on YouTube, you're just like, fuck, man. Like, how the hell do they do it, you know? But new videos every week. Subscribe to see more. From Ireland. Let's check out one of his videos. Let's The Killer Liar. Case of that chapter. Oh, actually, I think I've messaged this person before about potentially collabing, but honestly, asking people for collabs is a little tough sometimes. Oh, yeah. Thanks, dude. Yeah, man, I'll keep you in mind. Want to start doing collabs. Hey, dude, honestly, no plans at the moment. I'm up in the walls at the moment with shit. For sure, I'll let you know if any of it. Yeah, so I actually reached out to that chapter before, and they were nice enough to respond, but it would appear that they're quite busy. Anyways, but yeah, honestly, like, you can, and everybody can sit there and look at like the person that has 1 million subs or, you know, 1 trillion views and all that kind of stuff, but you just have to be thankful for what you got. Imagine if I collaborated with Chills. I have collaborated with Chills in the past. It's been a long time. But I think if you go to his Top 15s channel, don't sound so sad, Law. Some people want to collab with people that have the same sub count or something. I mean, it makes sense. I think the thing with that chapter is like, or what ends up happening is that when someone is that large, where literally he posts once a week and gets close to 1 million views on each video, like, that's huge. You know what I mean? My videos are good, you know, they're sustainable, but they're not like, you know, widely, I suppose, you know, widely known or whatever. But, you know, whenever someone is that big, like, you usually only end up, most people usually only end up collaborating with people that are going to quote unquote benefit them in some way, because, you know, where like them putting in the effort is potentially going to get them some sort of value, you know. So I think in his mind, me collabing on his channel isn't going to generate a lot of new viewers for him, because they most likely have already seen him or something, or I'm just too, you know, not as large or whatever. And then him collaborating on mine, it probably won't gather as many viewers or whatever. So you know what I mean. There's all that motivation. It's all call him out in a boxing match. No, I have no desire for like YouTube drama with like literally any person. I remember there's some like people in the creepypasta community who create drama and shit like that, but for the most part, everybody's like really chill. There's really no point in drama. I mean, drama generates attention, but it also just makes you look like a fucking a-hole. Hey friends, thanks so much for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. And if you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let'sReadOfficial, and give and receive feedback from the community, and maybe even hear your story on the next video. And join a live stream to catch an invite to my Discord. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations for just $1 a month on Patreon, and maybe even pick up some new Let's Read... Fuck. And maybe even pick up some Let's Read merch on Spreadshirt. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all these stories in long compilation form and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. Links in the bio. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, drama's a double-edged sword, yeah. It is. You really gotta be careful with it. And you really don't want it at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, it's just stupid. People that, like, surround themselves in it, it's just like whenever, like, H3H3 was, like, arguing with, like, Leafy, like, who fucking cares? Like, who actually gives two fucking fucks? Leafy is, like, like, a kid, you know what I mean? A kid who's wearing, like, DC sneakers or something like that, and fucking, H3H3 is just, like, some fat dad, you know what I mean? Like, why would I ever give a fuck that they have some sort of, like, internet beef? And they both make meme content, you know what I mean? So it's like, what? Why is this important to me? Like, and why am I being told that this is important to me? Oh, Keemstar oh yeah, I forgot. Keemstar was the fucking clergy of drama. Like, who gives a fuck what Keemstar has to say, or any of those idiots? Like it's such a fucking joke. And the worst part is, it's all, like, done sort of, like, indirectly. You know what I mean? They don't even say it to each other's faces. You know, they don't even talk shit to each other's faces. It's literally specifically created to, like, create some sort of PR buzz around the name. Oh, did you see what iDub said about H3H3? Oh no, Leafy doesn't have a chin. Like, who fucking gives a shit, dude? Literally, who cares, man? Like, tell those idiots to go to bed, man. Go to fucking bed. Make some actual content. Anyways. What do you guys think I should say funny at the end here? Anything funny? Stinky cat, you are my stinky cat. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. Let's come for Leafy, let's go. It's like, dude, I've watched Leafy's videos, and, like, I know for a fact that if I ran into H3H3, Leafy, iDubbbz, Keemstar, if we all saw each other in person, we would be nice, we would be cordial, we'd probably have a laugh, you know what I mean? We would have a laugh about stuff, we might have a drink together, we would giggle about YouTube, we would bitch about YouTube, you know what I mean? Like, we would be normal people to each other. And I'm sure that's how they are when they interact with each other IRL as well. But it's like, you watch Leafy's content, and, like, he supposedly was, like, a quote-unquote reaction channel that, like, started the whole reaction channel thing that eventually made YouTube, like, stop promoting that type of stuff because it was so toxic. But, like, dude, there's, like, stand-up comedians on Netflix you can watch right now for the cost of Netflix. I know it's like $75 a month now or whatever the fuck it is, but it's like, you can go on YouTube, type in stand-up comedy, and listen to some of the funniest shit you've ever heard from any random ass person, right? And, like, Leafy was, like, just would say some of the cringiest shit I've ever fucking heard in my life that wasn't funny. It was like he pulled it out of his ass. I'm like, but I understood that most of his audience was under the age of 13, so it's just, of course they're gonna giggle at that shit because they look at him as like, he's the coolest kid in 6th grade. Guys, he's the coolest kid in 6th grade because he says mean shit. He says mean stuff about people. Isn't that cool? It's not cool. It's boring. It's boring as fuck, and it's not creative. Nothing is funny. Stimpy boy kitties can still be good. Wash where the shine don't shine. I'm sorry. I said I don't want drama, but then I went on a drama rant there. But it just gets so old. It's like, who's fucking giving these idiots views? Who literally... You pull jokes out of your butt ass. It's so cringy, man. Like, this is the shit that people are all jonesed up about with a big old... I got a big old boner for fucking shit jokes. And I'm not saying I make, like, funny jokes, or I'm not trying to say that I would be, but I, like, just, like, all of it was just, like, such fucking, like, low effort, moronic content that he literally was just putting out so that it hit the 10-minute mark so he could put another advertisement in his video and you know, milk the psychological need of teenagers' like desires for childish drama. It's just, fuck you, man. Fuck you and your dog shit content. I'm glad, you know, I don't want him to get banned, and it sucks he got banned because I think that's wrong. But at the same time, your shit sucks, man. You're not funny. You're not funny, and like, and then the worst part is because he was so big, you could tell he got such a head about him, man. Like, never looking the people that he was like talking shit about to their face, You know, it's just childish bullshit. Wake the F up, mommy. I peed the bed. Okay, Jay, I'm gonna say that. It's funny. And remember, like, I'm not actually mad. I'm not actually mad about this. It's just like, it just gets so old. Like, you want, like, you know what I mean? Like, what was it? Like Planet Earth, or like some like really badass fucking like animation or something, like you would want YouTube to promote that content as like the coolest shit that people are talking about. Like, look at these people, they've done. But like, some of the shit that gets big on YouTube is like the lowest common denominator Riri shit I've ever fucking seen in my life. Like, I'm just like, stop talking, man. Stop fucking talking. Stop making content on this platform. It's so corny. Holy fuck. What was I gonna say? What's the person? I don't know. It's just weird. Like, people's like entire livelihoods is just like, because in many ways, like, people like Leafy, and to a degree, like H3H3's type content, you know, Keemstar, it's as if though they're like a fucking Walmart budget, like, tabloid paper. Like, imagine like an actual tabloid, like The Sun, or I don't really know what a tabloid is, like the shit that you see in like Men in Black talking about aliens and stuff. And just imagine they're like the budget version of that shit. No effort, just everything's just gut reaction, no research, no care, just. But for some reason in their mind, they think because they have a number next to their name that their opinions are somehow educated on something. It's so pointless. It's so pointless to sit and watch, and it's really sad. You should run an after-hour rant bar. I don't know. But honestly, I guess to a degree, maybe that's just a statement to what people want. They want that lowest common denominator fucking tabloid content. I think that's what people want sometimes. They want drama. They want, you know, to see people go after each other. They want to hear some like sort of hearsay about somebody and be like, oh, wasn't that the guy who flibbity flobbied in the fucking movie theater? Didn't he pull a Pee Wee Herman, or, you know what I mean? Just like, I think that's what people want, and it's so easy to generate that content too, because all it is like, oh, we've heard a rumor, and it's like, and to a degree, what's even sadder about that type of like drama content is that no one's held like liable. No one is held liable for the defamation, for the libel, you know, for the loss of the potential loss of revenue for individuals who are wrongfully called certain things, or like pointed to be, you know, just essentially have the mob go after you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of shit's pretty not just morally wrong, but potentially legally wrong. And I feel like I don't know how they get away with that shit for so long. It's kind of, have you pooped yourself as an adult? Yes, I did just now. Shit myself out of anger. Save the drama for Obama. It's a good rhyme. The content is so repetitive. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, we've come to a point in society where we have so much decadence, where, we just whip out our popcorn, and it's just like, okay, I don't have any conflict in my life, so just fucking make some up, you know? And I think that's one of the weirdest things, is that, like, when it gets very meta, when the drama community starts going after each other, it's like we're so fucking dried up on content that now we have to start going after each other to drum up, you know, fucking content. And doesn't that seem kind of coordinated to a degree? Almost like, couldn't they just text each other? Because they've talked about like texting each other in the past and being friends. Couldn't they just be like, yo, this week, let's pretend like we hate each other. Oh, that'd be so cool. And then we'll get a Twitter hashtag going. Everyone's going to give a shit except me. You can't make me give a shit when there's no shits to give about. I'm sorry, I'm being toxic, but Save the drama for Obama. Okay, I'll end it with that. I was gonna say somebody else's, but I forgot what it was. So since that's like in my line of sight right now, I'll just say that. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, save the drama for Obama. I'll probably get comments. Why do you gotta be political? Talking about Obama. You wouldn't be surprised if it all staged. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, hashtag Leafy is over party. Unfortunately, I believe he actually was over. But, yeah, the web is toxic. And I guess I'm kind of feeding into the toxicity by talking about it. But like I said, I know for a fact that, like, if I, you know, all of these people, if you get them together in a room playing Super Smash Brothers, like, they would be laughing and having a good time with each other within fucking 5 minutes. Like, there's, or even, you know what I mean? Like, especially the ones, even the ones that had like actual drama with each other, they can just, they're like, hey man, sorry about all that bullshit online. You know, it's all, it's all bridge under the water, right? And they'd be like, yeah man, I feel you. And then they'd have a good laugh, and then they'd plan their next false drama flag, you know. Carrie Lang with the 5 Canadians says, Joel, and remember, don't be an a-hole. I thought I was just going to say, don't be a hole. Joel the a-hole. That'll be my drama channel. What made me start my channel? I just wanted to try YouTube. You know, my roommates at the time had done YouTube for a while, done some comedy. And, you know, I used to watch, like, PewDiePie content just, like, offhandedly when he was, remember when he got like really popular? He was it was right around the time that he started doing like screaming videos while playing like Amnesia and shit like that. And you know, it was like back in 2012, 2013 into 2014. I'm like, all right, this guy's a fucking millionaire and all he does is scream while playing video games. I'm like, I can do something on here. I can make something happen. And I tried the reading stuff, and it worked. Interesting. Well, guys, when did differing opinions mean you have to wage all-out war on public platforms? I don't really get it. Yeah, it's like, because, like, whatever happened to, like, healthy debate? You know what I mean? Like, getting into, like, it's everything's like throwing shade over at each other. Like Twitter, what's so stupid about Twitter is people act like it's a big fucking deal when someone tweets. All Twitter is like, I left a sticky note out in the public forum and you can read it if you want. I said something rather naughty. You know, it's just like, it's so corny. You wrote a bunch of mean shit in the convenience of your own home. You never had to look the person in the eye that you bitched about, and it didn't matter. It did nothing because it was just pointless letters on a fucking screen, you know. And it's really even weird to see like public figures do that. You know, it's just like, this is the standard you're setting as an adult who is in a position of power. It's just fucking strange. I don't know, man. And it's even weirder between like when it's like on the, you know, the layman, like the lower caste of people, you know, argue like us, like arguing back and forth, because it's just like, you know, just because someone has a different opinion doesn't mean you have to like label them something or not hear what they have to say. Like if I don't know, just have a conversation with someone, and if you think that they think differently, the second you get in a chat with them, you know, they're going to be reasonable in the same way that I described that you're going to play Super Smash with somebody and be friends. Like, there's no reason to just like constantly be this inflammatory character on social media. Like, what a headache that must be, day in and day out, to just be angry all the fucking time. Good God, like, just go get some sleep, go get some sun, go hang out with the family. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, get some air, dude. Get off the keyboard. It's just, what a waste of energy and life force. There's so many better ways to handle things. And I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore, but yeah, Twatter sucks, dude. Get off of Twatter if you can. It's gonna be dead anyways, probably within a few years. I mean, what the fuck does it even have to offer? I don't even know if it's as good at like mining your data as Facebook is. Also, I recently heard that apparently they're going to, like, Apple is going to make it very difficult for Facebook to start mining your data the same, because that's apparently how Facebook makes most of its money, is just stealing your data and selling it to advertisers and stuff. And I guess the Tim Cook from Apple is going to make that much more difficult for them. I think just because, I don't know. It's interesting seeing billionaires go after billionaires. Like, it's weird. Cat with a 5 says, bro, did you just fart? I wish, man. It's been a fartless night. Smoke weed. Smork weeds. Just have a smork some words. Yeah, differing opinions open your mind, So many people want to, like, think that people are evil or something, just like innately evil. Like, well, if you think someone is innately evil, wouldn't you rather want to convert them to good if you think yourself is good? So what's the best way to do that? It's not to just scream in their face and call them evil, because what's that going to do? That accomplishes nothing. You know what I mean? Like, if you think someone is, like, reprehensibly bad and their opinions are dangerous, you need to educate them, right? You need to talk to them like a normal human being and treat them like a normal human being, and maybe you would be able to convince them of their point. And who knows, maybe you even might be able to find out that they're actually a human being behind that screen. But that's neither here nor there. But thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Another fantastic stream. I really appreciate your kind words and support all throughout. It was really a good time. But yeah, this will be up tomorrow, well, today rather, at 7 p.m. And yeah, get it on early access on Patreon for $1 a month or $10.08 for a year. It's like a weird deal they have going on there. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok if you want. I don't know if I'll ever post on there, to be honest. Would ever do a Patreon Zoom call? That would be, probably not, because I actually talk to a lot. Like, I've been on Discord a lot lately in the voice chat, and people have been pleasantly surprised to just, like, see me in there chatting, playing games and stuff. Because I promise you guys, I am just like you guys. I'm just a silly boy, a silly 30-year-old boy. I'm a silly man. I'm a silly man, all right. Yeah, I like to have a good time and make social friends and stuff. So probably wouldn't, I don't like I don't like my persona to be like some sort of like exclusive paywall thing. You know what I mean? Like I like to be accessible, just like anybody else. But anyways, yeah, early access on Patreon, and join the Discord if you haven't already. It's a good time. Nice people there. Drama-free zone, so no drama. Don't want no drama. No drama. Justine with the 2. Thank you. Stinky 30. But I love you guys and appreciate you. Hey, honey. Hello. I need to exfoliate extra. Yeah, before the Zoom call. I need to just grind the bone on my face down to nothingness. Get my skeleton nice and shiny for you guys. But yeah, thank you again. And yeah. I have nothing else to say, honestly, but I appreciate you. Yeah, and save the drama for Obama, all right? Okay. Peace out. Much love. And hopefully, aside from the new video tonight, I'll be back on Tuesday for another live stream. Okay. Audio. Oh, yeah. Post the Discord. Any mods here? Any moddies in the chat? All right. Anyways. I'll post it here as we head out. Oh, there it is, Lila. Thank you. Peace out. Kisses. Mwah, mwah, mwah.